like this. She virgin, I took her. She said we should hook up the boyfriend and booger. Don't know me, then look at I'm being the clouds. Pool full of Henny, I drink and I drown. Daytime better come correct. Ain't playing at your best, then you will get left. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. Like this. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tactical Tortoise for another awesome stream of some TTS 40K. It is a beautiful Friday afternoon. I hope everyone is ready for the weekend and ready to play some games of 40K and watch some games of 40K. We have a Pod 12 doubleheader for you guys tonight. We've got both semifinals games actually being streamed this evening, or this afternoon, I should say. Obviously, this one between Doot and Kryogen, an epic chaos mirror match, and then I'm going to be playing my game against Innes Wilson immediately after this game. So that'll be, it's scheduled for 5 p.m. Eastern Standard, so about 3 hours from now. Might have to push it back a little bit depending on how this game goes, but we should be good. What's up, everybody in the chat? Thanks, everybody, again for joining. We've... got a bunch of people in here. Christopher Zydonis, this is the Triple Lord of Skulls list. The Kryogen is running up in the blue. We'll go over the lists real quick in the sec. The players are just doing their pregame selections and about to start deployment. I believe Doot's won the role to go first, and Kryogen is taking the second turn. Do you guys need a hand with the objectives real quick? So yeah. So go ahead and you can just slide the so you can raise the objective on the selection underneath the select ITC objectives menu. You can click token position height and that raises it by a couple inches. Then you can just slide the markers underneath and lock them into place. If you need to move them where they interact with terrain, you can use the movement widget in the toolbar. Yeah, so just the arrows next to the 0 here over on token position height, next to the select ITC objectives. Bear with me, chat. Yeah, there you go. Okay, perfect. And then you can just place the objectives underneath and lock the markers down. And then you can just delete those objectives. That doesn't make a difference. And if you need them to go inside terrain, you can just use the widget function to move them. Okay, hopefully we have that sorted out. I apologize for that, chat. I want to give a quick apology here. For some reason, my tabletop simulator is going extremely slowly today. So if you notice, it is a little choppy. I'm not sure why that is. I don't have much else going on my machine right now, so I think I'm getting a little bit of lag because I'm not being the host this game. So I do apologize that it is going to be a little bit slow. But let's go over the list real quick. I guess we'll talk about Kryogen's list very briefly. We did mention it before. It is the Triple Lord of Skulls build that we've seen in the past. We just watched Kryogen win over in Pod 9, if I remember correctly, against Canon and Fluter's Deathwatch. And it's a pretty strong list against Imperium, for sure. But also, against the Deathwatch list, it doesn't really have much to deal with a skew of Toughness 8 high wound models. Some lists can crack this really easily. You know, if you're looking at Imperial Fist Artillery or something like that, a lot of Imperium gun lines or Eldar can shoot it down pretty hardcore. But unfortunately, when you're bringing a bunch of bolt guns, that doesn't do too well. But it is a pretty powerful list. not only a big defensive skew, but also incredibly offensive. The list combos together the Corn Demon Relic, the Crimson Crown. It has a Corn or a Chaos Demons battalion, just a mixed battalion with 3 units of Brimstone Horrors, as well as an Infernal Rapturous, and the Corn Demon Prince with the Crimson Crown. That gives any Corn Demons, which includes the Lord of Skulls, exploding sixes generate additional hits to wound, or additional attacks, 6s to wound. So all of their attacks, even their ranged attacks, will explode on their wound rolls. Then he has a Demon Smith, Master of Possession in an Iron Warriors detachment, or a mixed Astartes detachment, but he's making this guy Iron Warriors, as well as the Lord of Skulls are Iron Warriors as well. These guys able to place their objectives. I hope they're figuring out. Yeah, okay, it looks like they got it. That will give exploding 6s to hit, generating additional hits from the Demon Smith ability, both of which work on these big bad boys. If you're playing against Imperium, you also get Death of the False Emperor. In this case, you don't. And that can really blow you up in the fight phase, because each of one of their explosions with their weapons, each additional attack they make with their weapons, they can make with their slash profile to generate 3 additional attacks. So they can really explode hardcore with these Lord of Skulls and do a ton of damage. Just on top of that as well, they're also demons, so they can be a demon engine, so they can be benefited from psychic powers like Cursed Earth to give them +1 invulnerable save, and they're Iron Warriors, so you can do things like reduce the AP of enemy attacks by 1, or give them a 6-up Feel No Pain with Iron Within and Dour Duty stratagems. You also have +1 to hit from this Lord Discordant with the Mark of Khorne, which will make them a little bit more consistent in that as well. Last but not least, we have, just filling out the Chaos Space Marine detachment here, we have 2 units of 10 cultists. Those are going to be in the Word Bearer's Legion, in order to give access to a 4+ deny stratagem from them. 1 CP, 24-inch range. Just deny a spell on a 4+, very nice to have. And a unit of Poxwalkers, just because they're basically just better cultists. Speaking of Poxwalkers, we do have some similar units over on the Doots' side, over in the red here, playing mixed Astartes, or mixed Heretic Astartes, excuse me. And this is a bit of an odd one. It's an interesting list. But Doots, as we've seen before, no slouch of a player himself. He's made several semifinals appearances in the T5S2 series, and this is another one from him. So clearly he knows what he's doing, but it is a very different kind of list, and I think it's going to be really cool to watch these two very different lists fight against each other. The lists are in the description, everyone who wants to follow along with me. You can just find the links to their lists down there. But we have, to start off with, the age-old, the Old Faithful 1,000 Suns Battalion, or 1,000 Suns Spearhead, excuse me. 3 Sorcerers, a Terminator Sorcerer. Armament on foot, no Disc of Zines for him today. He's just slumming it today. As well as a standard sorcerer as well. The Terminator Sorcerer, he's given the Devastating Sorcery for +1 to mortal wounds on his damaging psychic powers, his smite psychic powers, as well as Arcane Focus to give him +1 to cast his spells as well. So he's going to be potentially teleporting in there. There's a lot of teleporting going on in this list and porting around. And then just rocking somebody for a bunch of mortal wounds. Pretty straightforward. We also have a mixed. It is a mixed Chaos detachment, not 100%. Not 100% Chaos Space Marines, unfortunately. It is a mixed Chaos detachment. Using the Nurgle keyword, it's bringing Abaddon, the Despoiler, who is the Warlord that will unlock an additional 2 CP for this detachment, which is pretty nice. Just to have. But Abaddon himself, obviously, no slouch in combat. So just as a dude with a big damage 3 weapon, you can come in and punch people with. And just to give you some additional CP, it seems like not that bad of a pick, especially since he can fit into any Chaos detachment, basically, since he has all of the Chaos God keywords. We also have a Sloppy Bile Piper, excuse me. and Typhus. And the Sloppy Biopiper is in there to buff up a big brick of 51 Plague Bearers, 1 unit of 26, 1 unit of 25. Haven't seen these guys around in a while. Since their points increase in Chapter Approved, they sort of fell off the face of the earth a little bit. And Space Marines, obviously with their Chapter Master ability for a while, were just so efficient at killing them. But in this case, there is no full rerolls to hit on the side of the Lords of Skulls here. They do get a bunch of explosions, and I believe their explosions are unmodified, so they won't be too screwed by the Plague Bearers in 8-1 to be wounded. But I think the Plague Bearers might be a little bit of an annoying unit for these Lords of Skulls to kill, something they might butt up against. We also have, this is a cool include that Deuce just took away from me, 38 Chaos Cultists. These guys are going to be Death Guard keyworded, and the reason for that is that the cult-specific books, that is, Thousand Suns and Death Guard, allow you to take cultists in units of 40 instead of their normal units of 30. That makes them much easier to use Tide of Traitors on. That makes them much easier to buff up with Typhus, who's also in this detachment, just to give them -1 to hit, to give them +1 to wound, potentially. You can Veterans of the Long War them. Just a big old blob of dudes, which I think is pretty cool, and definitely this list is going to be focused on scoring 1 billion primary objectives because it's just gonna swarm the center of the table with infantry, and that's the plan. We're gonna put 100 infantry in your face and see what you can do about it, and we'll see if the Lord of Skulls can sweep their way through. I am worried that this list doesn't quite have the damage output to kill the Lord of Skulls as well as their support characters, but Abaddon's no slouch, and there are a couple powerful characters in here. We're also bringing in, as the last detachment, a battalion of Chaos Space Marines of the Night Lords Legion. And I believe that this is just pure Night Lords. I don't think that we are souping it up here. And this is a Host Raptorial detachment, which is pretty sick. That unlocks the Chaos Lord over here to have the Field Commander stratagem to give him the Host Raptorial Warlord trait, which is +2 to charges for the Host Raptorial units, which will be himself, as well as this big unit of Warp Talons. These guys, obviously, when they come out of Deep Strike, they can't be overwatched, and then additionally giving them the benefit of, Johnny, thanks for your subscription there, bud. I missed your last name. I apologize for that. That's going to give the Warp Talons, like I was saying, cannot be overwatched. Then with the additional +2 to charge from the Host Raptorial Special Warlord trait, just makes that a pretty solid deep striking unit, as well as being Night Lords. So I believe that they can get a benefit to charge when they come in out of Deep Strike as well. Making those guys pretty reliable. It is a 7-inch charge, just basic with the Host Raptorial Warlord trait, so I don't hate that include at all. That said, Warp Talons, they don't do a ton of damage. We have seen them in the series in the past, and they did okay. But for the most part, what they were there to do is stop your opponent from shooting, and obviously, because they can force you to remain in melee with them. But unfortunately, that doesn't work on vehicles that we have come for you, and it doesn't work on the Lords of Skulls either, because they can shoot while they're in melee with infantry, so it doesn't really make that big of a deal. Yeah, they have a couple of attacks and they reroll wounds, so hopefully they'll be able to get in there and get some work done. And I believe that we gave a relic to the Chaos Lord. I think, what does this Chaos Lord have here? So the Chaos Lord is coming in with, looks like the Fist of Decay is his special relic here. I think his special Power Fist. Let's go ahead and look that up real quick, because that is not one that I have seen in the past. So let's find out what that does. Gaholax, the Fist of Decay. It's a Power Fist. You get -1 to hit with it, but it always wounds on a 2+. That is actually pretty good against these Lords of Skulls. Coming in with a Power Fist with effectively +2 to wound is pretty spicy. It's also a flat 3 damage, so it's effectively a souped up Thunderhammer on this guy. That's going to be actually pretty scary for these big robots. We'll see if we can punch them down. Players just getting started deploying here. I do apologize for this choppiness again. I wonder if it just doesn't like seeing all these Plague Bearers. My TTS is made a little queasy by all the Plague Bearers on the table. Looks like the players have gone ahead and chosen their secondary objective. Doot's, unsurprisingly, picking Big Game Hunter. I think that one, Kryogen, I don't think has ever gone a game without giving up full Big Game Hunter points off of his army, composed almost entirely of Titans. We also have Headhunter for Doots as well. This one seems a little bit presumptuous. He's killing those. The Lords of Skulls support characters basically requires you to go through the Lords of Skulls to do it. There's enough infantry on Kryogen's side to screen out the Raptors, even with their Warp Flame Strike there and their bonuses to charge. I don't think that they're gonna, or excuse me, not the Raptors, the Warp Talons. And I don't believe that Deuce is going to be able to get great deep strikes into Kryogen's side half of the table. So he's going to have to punch through those Lords of Skulls first. And his army is filled with a bunch of Strength 3 dudes. So I don't know. We'll see how well he can do that. But those characters are absolutely brutal for the Lord of the Skulls, and we might just see that if the Lords of Skulls want to push up the table at all, they'll have to run into threat range of those characters, and otherwise, Deuce is just fine with sitting on his side of the table, scoring hold more every turn, and slowly but surely winning the game. Doot has also picked Recon. That seems like a perfect choice. It's usually a good one if you're going first, especially a good one if you have strong deep strikers, both of which Doot has in this game. He's also just has an aggressive deployment with a whole billion infantry, and all you have to do is tow one infantry over that line in order to score that Recon. So he just needs to get one Cultist here and one Plague Bearer on the other side or something like that, and he's going to be able to score that Recon very quickly. So this seems fairly aggressive. It's just based on the fact that it's just a whole bunch of dudes who are going to be running up the table, so I don't think that's a bad call for dudes at all. On Kryogen's side, we've picked the Reaper. I think that's basically an auto-include, probably against Deuce's list. I imagine Deuce very rarely doesn't give up max Reaper points, just like Kryogen doesn't give up max Big Game Hunter points. Deuce has also picked Headhunter, so we're just a mirror match right now of each other. Also picked Headhunter, so and with how aggressive these Chaos Space Marine characters are going to be, I think that makes a lot of sense. Getting to characters like Ahriman and stuff like that will be a little bit tougher because they're going to be hiding behind, just endless meat shields of dudes. But we'll see how it goes. Last but not least, Engineers for Kryogen. I like this pick as well. Probably done it on some Poxwalkers, I imagine. Yeah, look at them up in the corner there, hiding behind a building. And we are playing mission number 5, Precious Cargo, and that allowed Doots allows both players to move one of their objectives 6 inches, and it looks like Kryogen has picked objective 2 and moved it so that he can safely engineer behind the building. Not much that can threaten those guys until the Warp Talons come out of Deep Strike, but I imagine at that point Kryogen will have his defenses set up. He'll have probably some screening units here to run out so that there isn't any good drop zones on turn 2 to get those Warp Talons into the Engineers and kill them all. That would be a big swing for Doots if Kryogen allowed that, but I imagine that he can stop that pretty easily. So, pretty good secondary picks for both these players. The one that I am not 100% sure about is this Headhunter pick for Doots here. I'm not sure that he's going to be able to get the characters that he wants. I imagine that he might be expecting characters like the Lord Discordant and the Master of Possession to be a little bit more aggressive than they are. But as we've seen in Kryogen's games in the past, they are just buff bots for the Lord of Skulls. They just hide behind their big buddies and hang out for a bit. But we'll see if dudes have some tricks up his sleeve to punch through and get those guys. Looks like lots of talk in the chat. Luke McCarthy back in here, the treasure of the Tactical Tortoise chat room. Let's find out what that does. Is my catchphrase for everything once new Harlequins hit the scene. It was embarrassing. I streamed a game against the new Harlequin models on AOWPI, and I already made a video on them and went through all of their new abilities. So I feel like I should have a good grasp of what their new abilities are. No way. I had no idea. I had to look them up the entire game, and I had to have my opponent tell me what they did. And even then, we got some stuff wrong halfway through. Let's see. Luke McCarthy likes the Headhunter pick. Makes a Demon Prince in the Discord more wary to just YOLOing up the table. I agree with that, but I think that Kryogen is going to be... I think he's going to be wary of throwing those guys up the table anyway, right? Because they are two of the most important support pieces for the Lords of Skulls. Usually, I mean, you want those guys to die after the Lords of Skulls go in and do a bunch of damage anyway. And at that point, it doesn't really matter if your opponent has Headhunter, because that's just what's going to happen. Luke McCarthy, surprised dudes didn't try to set up engineers either. Yeah, I agree. I think that's the pick I would have made. Definitely would have mirrored Kryogen's placement for this objective on this side. It looks like Doots has moved this objective up. That would be objective 3, which I don't hate if you're not going for the engineer's play to move one of the objectives closer to the central ruin so that you can hold it safely and hide behind the ruin here. But I think I would have liked to see this objective moved back and some of these cultists just sit here and be engineers for the game, because it looks like that's basically what they're going to do anyway. And the downside of this Lord of Skulls list is that there is no indirect fire on the table for it. So as we've seen in almost every game that Kryogen has played, he's been able to crush his opponents pretty regularly, but there's always a Thunderfire cannon or a character or some scouts or something in these ruins that he doesn't get to, at least until turn 6. DS5402, objective placement looks better for Phil than it does for Doots. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think Doots, would like the Lords of Skulls to try to push for this objective, but I'm not sure. But so it might just sort of be baiting him in, because any Lord of Skulls that goes in there is going to get blasted by these characters for sure. And the Lords of Skulls really want to operate in this 6-inch area around this ruin so that the characters can hide here and provide their buffs throughout the entirety of the game. So maybe Dude's just knowing that he does have to play very aggressively and wanting to move an objective closer up the table for him to get hold more and more consistently. But I think I would like to see a more defensive placement from him. But we will see how it goes. He might just be planning to totally swarm Kryogen's half of the table and just hope he can't kill him, and we'll see if we'll find out if that's true. It looks like, based on the positioning, it looks like Doot sort of wants to deny this flank from Kryogen, which I think is an interesting move. He has his Plague Bearers. They're only a couple inches, if we zoom in a little bit here. And it might help if we go isometric. There we go. He only has his Plague Bearers a couple inches on the top side of this ruin. And so what he might be trying to do is totally lock out one or two Lords of Skulls, depending on Kryogen's placement, from being able to shoot. So the Plague Bearers, could run inside. Oh, I've lost my mouse. So the Plague Bearers can run on the first turn and just enter this building and basically just entirely occupy this shadow zone. And then you can do the same with the ones on the other side. This Lord of Skulls can only basically move here, so its line of sight looks something like this. And your whole army can operate pretty effectively in this area if you don't want to score your recon on turn 1, which honestly I don't think you need, really. And that totally locks one of those guys out from shooting. And that is a reason to use this as your secondary or as your precious cargo objective, because you can move it into that position where a guy here can hold it and not be in line of sight of a Lord of Skulls from over here, probably. It looks like that may be Doots' plan, and I don't hate that plan. And we'll see if Kryogen can position around it. PHX Goose, this is mission 5. So the 4 of the objectives, these 4, start in the player's deployment zones. They're at a preset area, and then before the game you choose one and you move it 6 inches. So we saw this one moved for Doots, and this one moved for Kryogen. So you could move, if you wanted to have a safe objective to engineer off of for Doots, you could move this one into this area and just hold it for the entirety of the game. It looks like Kryogen just placing his last Lord of Skulls here now. Ooh. Can't go there, unfortunately. It'll be interesting. If he does decide to overload this flank, then that refused flank move from Doots could be really prophetic. Okay, there you go. he sees the writing on the wall there. Very good. So we are probably going to see 2 of these Lord of Skulls get to shoot 100% for sure. But one of the interesting parts about Doots' list here is that he can really stack negative hit modifiers, which I think is going to screw up these Lords of Skulls a little bit. Especially when they're exploding multiple attacks, obviously those negative hit modifiers compound a little bit because your exploded attacks are also going to suffer from them. You can get -2 to hit on the Plague Bearers, and then I think Doots is set up to try to make the second Plague Bearer unit able to completely hide from out of line of sight, then only present the cultists and the first Plague Bearer squad. You'll lose a bunch of cultists, and you can give the cultist -1 to hit with the Death Guard power, but and I mean, a bunch of them are going to die, like no question about that. But if you pull correctly, you can pull them out of line of sight before the unit's destroyed, and then you can Tide of Traitors them back in. So you can, sort of leave a couple back here, run the rest of them out into the middle to soak an entire turn with a firepower, then Tide of Traitors them over here somewhere, maybe to threaten the engineers, or over here to gum up the Lords of Skulls. And I have seen these big cultist units. Actually, they're not that bad at fighting. There's just so many attacks. These guys are Mark of Nurgle, unfortunately, not Mark of Slaanesh, but when they're Mark of Slaanesh, they are eligible for Endless Cacophony. You can Veterans of the Long War them. And you can just shoot a billion times with auto guns, and eventually, it gets there. Even just Veterans of the Long War in the shooting phase, and then getting +2 to wound between their Blades of Putrefaction and Veterans in the fight phase, exploding onto mortals on 5+ means that they are 5+ to wound, that is. They can actually do a significant amount of damage, especially since there are 40 of them. So if a bunch of them get in on a Lord of Skulls, then you could ding it up quite a bit. They probably don't kill it, but if you, with the correct application of force, you could knock it down a peg or 2. So what's everybody in the chat think about this matchup? Are these Lord of Skulls going to be able to fight through the negative hit modifiers to kill all these infantry? I know they have a solid number of attacks, and the explosions are very good, and obviously their melee profile is good at clearing a bunch of infantry. But on the flip side, they I don't know if they have the weight of firepower to kill all these models, especially since the Plague Bearers can slowly regenerate themselves with their banner, and the entire cultist unit can respawn if it needs to. I also do appreciate Doot's choosing the side of the table with the Nurgle symbol on it. Obviously, this
Okay, that's me done.
this Nurgle symbol has spawned
Right, man. Let's do it.
a great many plague bearers to support
okay.
Abaddon's push here, and it looks like we're off to the races.
Any pregame stuff you need to do, my dude?
No pre-game, no.
Okay. Put it on me.
Yeah, there you go. You got it.
Cool.
All right,
So
here we go.
Let's see what we're dealing with here. Where's the Raptress?
Rapturous is just behind this guy.
Okay. Oh, come on. Do you measure from these little spikes at the tip of this guy, or what?
Yeah, that's what for movement and stuff, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like Dude's really respecting the melee threat of these Lords of Skulls.
Okay, I'm going to start off by advancing
Totally
green.
fair.
Another 2 inches. Okay, the intent here is to keep these guys an inch from the outside edge of this wall.
And it does look like, I do have to apologize to the chat quickly. It looks like TTS is doing its thing where it's, I believe it's doubling the distance measured for these players. So if the measurements look funky on the stream, that's something TTS is doing. And I'm not sure where that's from. PHX Goose, gotta say it bugs me that a Corn Demon Prince is being followed around by a bunch of horrors. Well, maybe the horrors just got, they got enraptured by the Infernal Enrapturous. I think she's the real leader of the demon detachment in this army. She's won a demon prince and a bunch of silly brimstones over with her wiles.
Okay. Typhus will advance, having the roll because he's slow. He's going full 7. These guys are just moving up. Okay, gonna advance the yellow Plague Bearer squad.
So here goes the Plague Bearers. We'll see if Doots is going to try to keep them safe inside the building. It looks like he's positioned his cultists so that they're probably taking up a lot of these guys' real estate, so I think they just might be moving forward. Oh, here they go. Ooh. Here they come. All right. We're throwing caution to the wind with these guys. And just rolling right up the table.
Stuff.
I wonder if Doots would rather one of these Lords of Skulls charge into the Plague Bearers. He's certainly fine with letting the Plague Bearers go, and then he can send these characters in, especially Abaddon and potentially his Warp Talons or some of his Deep Strikers in to isolate that one Lord of Skulls and take it out the turn that it commits.
Orange Plague Bearers will advance.
Not to mention the absolute battery of mortal wound output he's going to have from his 3,000 Sun Sorcerers here, which cannot be discounted, especially against Toughness 8. It's very useful to have all those smites against knights, especially if you are a psychic heavy faction. That's probably your number one answer to Toughness 8 skew, is just being able to automatically put wounds through. You don't care about that 4+ invulnerable. You don't care about that big toughness value. You're just gonna plink it for an absolute metric crap ton of wounds in the psychic phase.
Okay, that's it for movement. I'll go to Psychic. So starting with Typhus. He is going to do Miasma Pestilence on the green Cultist squad.
All right, here goes the psychic phase. Probably the most important phase for Doots' army here.
Let's see. His next cast will be Blades of Putrefaction on the Cultist. Goes off on a 7.
Gets
No
both
charge
of those.
this turn.
No, they cannot. I advanced them.
Okay.
Gets both of his psychic powers off. His death card buffs onto the green cultist. That's pretty good in case one of these
Armon.
Lords of Skulls wants to actually get up in melee.
Start with a smite on the Brims.
Doots might leave that one cultist that's on the objective for the very last and give up a bunch of them so that he can get that hold more this turn.
For 2.
Was that doubles? Are you out of the thing?
Yeah, that's what this line is for. Should be out.
Just measure something.
Mm-hmm.
Other spells has Araman got?
I just did Smite. He's also got Warp Time, Prescience, and Death Hex.
DS 5402. If the Lord of Skulls charge, it will probably lose its Master of Possession buffs. Potentially. One thing you have to keep in mind is that the Lord of Skulls is huge.
Okay.
So if it moves here,
Prescience on the
and then gets a charge into these guys, its base looks something like this, right?
Prescience will fail.
And the Master of Possession could just run to here and still reach it with its 6 inches. That's some terrible diagramming there. But these models are like 8 inches long.
Wait on him.
So they actually have a big old butt
Terminator Sword
to grab buffs in their backside with.
So his first cast will be Smite into the Lord of Skulls. +2 to this first cast because he's got a familiar.
This is a smite.
I'm going to try to reroll this one. Try to get a bigger smite.
This guy, we're going to CP reroll for a super
spent.
smite.
Got the 1. Thank you, TTS.
I wonder if those brims would be closer.
So D3 +1 for 3 mortals on the Lord of Skulls. His next cast will be Zinch's Firestorm on the Lord of Skulls.
Are the Brimstone Horrors not an eligible target for that smite?
I should have been out of line of sight at that
Okay,
point.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I didn't want him taking more brims out.
So Zinch's
It's one of the downsides of the isometric view is I can't actually really see their
does
line
go
of
off
sight
on a
that
7.
well.
Oh, that's too many dice. All right, 6 ups for mortals for 4.
Oh, that was good. I'll just
Nuked
tank
this
it.
guy for 7 so far.
Last but not least, I've got my
1,000
last
suns.
Psyker back there. He is going to smite
You're so brutal.
the Lord of Skulls. Goes off.
Oh, if that was the first smite, that would have been sick for a
4-2.
super. Hit it for 9.
And then he's going to attempt a Doombolt on it. Need a 9 on the dice. Got it.
Oh, 10.
Another 2 mortals, and
Oh,
you
11,
cannot
excuse me.
advance, and your movement is halved.
Oh, sorry. I was just catching up with that.
Oh, sure. That's
Oh
on
my
this guy
gosh.
back here.
I will try and. Is it too late to try and deny that with my cultists?
Uh,
Sorting it out for my.
oh yeah, for your deny, yeah, that's fine, man.
All right, we're going to try to
It
use
went off
this
on an 11, but you just got like
strat
a 4 up, right?
to
Yeah, I'm
4
gonna
plus
attempt
deny
to
that
deny it
Doom
with the
Bolt to
cultists.
allow that
Okay.
Lord of Change to charge, or Lord of Skulls to
Gotcha.
charge, and it's denied. Okay. So only a paltry 9 mortal
Okay. I'm
wounds
gonna spend 1 more
to
CP.
the Lord of Skulls.
So my Terminator Sword can
Boom.
cast again, and he's gonna do Infernal Gaze on the Lord of Skulls.
Burn on a couple CP here for Doots to try to
He
force
goes
as
off
much
on a
damage through.
5, I believe.
There you go. The Terminator Source only gets +1 on his first cast, doesn't he?
+2 on his first cast, +1 on every other cast.
Oh right, you've got something else.
Yeah, he's got the Arcane Focus on there. So Forest Immortals. So another 4.
Ooh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's pretty good Psychic Phase.
Jeez. What a psychic phase,
Uh,
ladies and gentlemen.
Cool. That's all my
Straight
psychic
up
powers,
would have
shooting
half killed this Lord of Skulls if it wasn't for that
is
4 plus deny strat
probably
from the cultist.
non-existent.
That's
Yep.
massive.
And no charges. So that's it for me.
It does deny Doots a kill on the first turn, so he's probably going to give up kill more, but that's
I'm
only
gonna get,
if the Lord of Skulls can wipe
no
one of these
kill.
big horde
Hold
units out.
bonus and a big game.
I'll spend a CP and take him up to 19 wounds.
Sure.
Okay, we're going to use the stratagem to auto heal the Lord of Skulls for 3. Kryogen really going to need that against this barrage of mortals that these Thousand Sun sorcerers are putting out. And I wonder if Kryogen can try to dry a bead on these sorcerers, but I imagine it's tough.
These guys have got asthma on them at the moment.
So the Plague Bearers are naturally -1 to hit because their troop
they've
size
not
is
got
over.
miasma.
Yeah, the cultists have miasma.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to roll for the. We do lose 1 more.
Okay.
Okay, first up, I'm going to advance the brims.
Okay.
Well, if we can see a second psychic phase like that from Doots, that's so much damage. That's one. That'd be 1 Lord of Skulls knocked out. Before the game goes on too long, and then Doots potentially has his Talons and his other host raptorial models to jump in and really beat up a second one. I don't know if they'll kill another one because those Warp Talons don't have a ton of attacks. They're only 3 attacks each. They do reroll wounds, but that's not a lot. But that the host raptorial Chaos Lord is going to really, really blow up a Lord of Skulls that gets to it. But that said, Kryogen is going to have to eat some wounds on his brimstones here, so he can probably block off for the Lords of Skulls for 1 turn. And he's going to steal the objective from Doot. So there's
Cloud
no
of Flies these.
No, I can't.
You can't.
There's no reason for Doots to leave that one guy on the objective 1 then, because he'll just pull that guy immediately. And the rest of the unit will be a little bit safer from the Lords of Skulls. Torin, what's the heal 3 strat call? It's 1 CP. Let's take a look. I can't remember if it's an Iron Warriors strat or not. It is called Unholy Vigor. It is an Iron Warrior strat. Use the stratagem to start your movement phase. Select one Iron Warrior's vehicle. That model regains up to 3 lost wounds. pretty solid stratagem. Basically gives you a little Iron Father Fieros in your own of your very own for just 1 CP around. But very good for keeping those Lords of Skulls alive. I mean, obviously those are some of the most valuable wounds you can have, especially being T8 and through potentially a 4+ invulnerable save. Torian, wording is so inconsistent. Some strats heal wounds and some strats regain wounds. Yeah, I don't think... There's no mechanical difference between those two, right? Because nothing interacts with regaining wounds. So I think the intention is clear. Oh, I gotcha. I know back when I played War Machine, there was a mechanical difference between removing damage and healing damage, because some things affected healing and some things didn't. And that was even more confusing. I'm glad
buddy, come back.
Nothing really changes that.
No, I'm considering what I'm doing. I'm not going to move him now.
So what's Cryogen's move here? Is the big question. I think Doot wants him to commit, but Kryogen certainly has the range output. I think for as powerful as this Thousand Suns detachment is, it does it doesn't do as much damage as 3 Lords of Skull shooting at you. I'll say that. So that does sort of make Doots, unfortunately, the kind of the aggressor in the matchup, and he's going to be forced to move forward to cross the table and score those points. And that's going to play right into Cryogen's hands here. But Cryogen's real damage, I think, is going to be coming out of the assault phase.
I'm moving.
And it looks like he's decided to just stay put for a bit. Torin, yeah, I agree with you. I'd definitely like to see some more consistent wording. It does look like we're getting closer towards that point. The 9th edition rules so far have looked very clean. I don't think there's any ambiguity in them that we've seen, which is good. I think that's a great step in the right direction. 40k has kind of been a laughingstock for a while in the ambiguity of his rule set. But this is an interesting move by Kryogen here. Look, he's not pushing these 2 Lord of Skulls at the bottom of the screen here at all. He's moving them backwards, in fact, which I think removes the yellow Plague Bearers as an eligible target for them. Sure does.
I'm going to advance the MOP.
This guy may be able to get
Okay.
a shot on them, but it's a little questionable. I guess he could. He could see 1 or 2. But in that case, I wonder if you see a Warp Surge from Doots here on those orange guys to soak up as much firepower as possible from Cryogen's Lords of Skulls. We'll see where the other Lord of Skulls goes, whether it pushes further out or not. Downside of Warp Surge, it is a bit of a weird one in that you have to declare it at the start of your opponent's shooting phase, so they could just redirect fire somewhere else. But for sure, a Warp Surge on the orange unit will soak at least 1 Lord of Skulls shooting.
This model is just so metal. This infernal enraptures.
I know, right? Just considering what I'm doing
I
there.
think that's technically incorrect. I think it's a plastic model, so calm down there, dudes.
Right.
Have I made any predictions? I haven't yet. I haven't yet. I do think that Kryogen certainly has the damage output to fight through Doots' army, but Doots is going to absolutely dominate the primary objective. He's going to be able to bonus every turn basically for free. He's going to start holding more on objective 1 as soon as he kills these horrors and these cultists in the center.
Cool. That's
And he
gonna
can really
be
limit the
my
amount
movement.
that Kryogen can fire back at him.
I don't think.
But I think it's going to be an uphill battle for Kryogen to actually kill the 3 Lords of
Cool.
Skulls. He did do
I'm going to cast
a billion damage on his first turn to one of them. But because his damage all comes from smiting and characters, it's
Power.
very easy for Kryogen to mitigate the damage coming in.
No.
Oh!
Let's CP reroll that one.
All right, Infernal Power reroll 1s on Demon Engines. We're going to CP it.
Doesn't go off, but still.
And at least he doesn't blow himself up. We did see Kryogen perils 2 times in his last game with this Master of Possession. Pretty silly. Especially since Doots, I believe, has access to the stratagem to force that to be a 2d3 mortal wound perils. Although he might have to have a Chaos Demons detachment.
Can you raise the AP on your cultists?
No.
That's worthless. Right, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna cast. Oh, do you have AP on these guys?
Yeah, they've got lightning claws, so they're going to be at AP2.
Kryogen asking in case he wants to leave up his Cursed Earth and not cast it. Kryogen obviously apparently quite
I'm going to cast Cursed Earth.
respectful of the perils, as this Master of Possession is great at getting himself possessed.
Yep.
But it looks like today he has
so
not taking any mortal wounds so far.
Can you want to use?
What's that?
Want to use any strats?
I can't really do it unless you tell me what you're shooting at.
You have to announce something like Warp Surge at the start of the shooting phase.
Oh, I thought Warp Surge was...
Nope, it's not when I announce it. You have to choose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, big downside of Warp Surge is that it
good on
triggers
me.
at the
Thank
start
you.
of your shooting phase.
I will Warp Surge yellow.
Looks like he's going to Warp Surge yellow. That's fair. Both
this side.
Yeah.
He has one sort of float Lord of Skulls. It looks like that can tech both. We just
have any
measured.
other targets,
And
he's
each
gonna
Lord of
fire just
Skulls
everything
has
into
the other
this
two
unit here.
have one unit that they can shoot. These guy can only shoot yellow, and this guy over here can only shoot orange. This guy right here. So at least the Warp Surge is going to save one unit from a bunch of pain. And it makes sense to me that Doots would pick the unit that has advanced farther up the table.
Okay.
He's going to need that extra distance to get into these
is that with your
cultists.
-1 to hit?
Because I've got Disco next to me.
Got it.
He needs that charge, I think, to wipe those guys out, and that will secure him that center objective for basically the rest of the game.
And then wounded on 2s. And no rerolls for the 1s, but 3 extra shots.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the demon detachments require, or the demon psychic powers required a full detachment.
If you've not got a demon detachment.
It makes sense to me, though, that it would.
No, I can't do that, actually. It's never come up till this game.
Okay.
That's a good point.
That one explodes.
Let's take a look. Looks like the players have caught it.
Which actually does have detachment. That's my bad, man. I'm sorry.
That's right. So it's
This many?
15 minus 2.
Yep, 5 ups. That's not it. Damage?
2 damage each.
Yeah, so
Okay,
the
I'll just reroll
demon stratagems do have the
successes.
same wording as the Chaos Space Marine ones, where you need a full demon detachment. You can't use them
Alright,
off of a Chaos Space
13.
Marine, or a mixed Chaos detachment.
Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Doesn't look like it mattered either way. those look like atrocious rolls for
and then D6 shots for the
dudes
icon.
there.
Yep.
5.
Hey-o.
threes. Rolling a 1. Threes. Re-rolling. So yeah, that's up.
Boats. Okay.
And then D3 damage each, so I'll just roll these.
Okay. So I had 1 at 1. He's dead, and 2 at 2.
Roll it again.
So 3 dead from that.
All right. Looks like only 3 banana boys taken out by
Okay.
that Lord, or by the Ichor cannon, but a bunch taken out by the
Oh,
Gatling.
okay.
We're down to
Then anyway.
11, it looks like, so 15 dead.
What's
That's
the
a big
current
swath.
save on the cultists?
It's a bit better than I expected, honestly.
6 up save.
40.
I got 39. Yep.
39.
Yeah, there's a question whether this center Lord of Skulls can actually see. Oh, it looks like, yeah, he can certainly see those cultists. There's a whole big line of them right in line of sight. So I wonder if Kryogen is going to focus fire that unit down and try to kill them and pull the threat of that Tide of Traitors off of the board right now.
Tide of Traitors out.
But I'm not sure he has the raw fire, the firepower.
I'm going to shoot this one in. The cultist.
Okay.
Do I think he can see the cultist in the middle? Can't he? Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to shoot him into the cultist in the middle. I will Demon Forge.
Cool.
So they're not negative. Are they negative to hit at the moment?
Yeah, they're -1.
So I'm re-rolling 1s and 2s then.
Okay.
So 4 go through, so I'll put 2 extra in. And then 2s. Rolling 1s. Then 4 more shots. One, 2s. That all goes through because the 6 counts down through, and then 1. 18.
All right.
Let's do 18 die. Do the I-core as well, because like still at the same time. So 5.
Okay.
They all go through because of the 6. 2s. And 3 additional shots.
So I was asking a question earlier of whether the Lords of Skulls could fight through the multiple penalties to hit. Doesn't look like they're having such a tough time. We just blasted probably about 20 cultists dead with the Lord of Skulls, and then one of them killed, obviously, 15 Plague Bearers.
So 8 total?
Yeah, 8 total on the I-core. Yeah, 8, sorry.
Sure.
Definitely getting Tide of Traitor, isn't it? I figured might happen, but it was worth a shot. So the next,
it's pretty good damage for turn 1.
I'll die next turn. So I will put the last one into these guys.
Okay.
These re-rolling 1s. Oh wow. 2, 4, 5.
Awesome, just in general, some good dice
2
on Cryogen's
extra
part here
shots.
for his exploding. Just for his exploding sixes abilities.
Both of those go through because of the 6.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 rolls. Okay, cool. So yeah, 16.
Yep. And these are damage 2, right? So lose 9.
Looks like the orange unit's faring a little bit better for the plague bearers though than the poor yellow guys. Only 9 dead there so far, and we'll see how much the Ecker Cannon can do.
6 for the Elycor. For 6. These guys are popping off this game.
Fortunately, no
Those
explosions
2
this
don't
time.
go through. And then 3s. 3 rolls, but another shot. On the 1. Cool. So just 3
Okay, damage.
damages.
So the 1 dies, and the 3 almost survived. But he is dead.
So fortunately, Doot will not have to worry about morale for his
The disco's going to shoot at him as well.
cultists here because Abaddon is with them. He might have to auto pass this unit of the yellow unit here to keep them alive. And then just hope that the banner regenerates some guys in the orange squad. I imagine is going to be how this turn goes for him. Unless he wants to take the chance on the 2 shots at rolling a 1 on the banner on yellow. Which would be pretty sick, but it's a little bit worrisome. Especially since you want to deny Kryogen that kill on turn 1. Both of these lists are very good at denying kills.
Right, okay, I think that's everything I can shoot.
And that'll be the end of that one. Let's see how this morale goes.
So that's the end of my turn.
All right, so I'll spend 2 to auto pass yellow.
Yeah.
And then I owe you morale on orange. Looks like they lost 11 dudes, so hoping for 1. I got the 1, so they're going to get D6 back.
Yeah!
So I get 6 minus back.
Oh, boy.
That.
We got the 1 on orange. The orange plague bearers regenerated 6 of those dead plague bearers. It looks like only a couple left dead from that unit. Probably 4, 5 dead from that unit. Take that, Lords of Skulls. Nurgle says, nuh-uh, not today. That's sick. Hopefully that will allow Doots now to push through and get a charge into these cultists. He really needs to kill this cultist unit because that's really Cryogen's only unit that can immediately threaten the center objective. At that point, he can put...
you have a Demons Battalion, though, right?
Yes, Kryogen has a Demons Battalion.
Say again?
This is a Demons Battalion, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so actually... I don't actually have objective secured, so you actually do hold this objective.
Oh, right, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. It's the...
Wow.
Oh, interesting.
The pain of going mixed attachments.
So that will...
Did you bonus there?
I did bonus because I had a dude in there at the end of my turn.
Oh, do I bonus as well then?
Yeah.
That's too bad.
No kills.
I don't believe Kryogen killed anything.
You do end up holding more.
No kills, yeah, sorry.
All right.
Well, that is unfortunate for
Did
Doots.
that get me a Reaper?
Yeah, you can just max yourself, dude. You'll get it by the end.
It works out the...
Oh, we'll just save it to the end of the game.
Plague Bearers don't
OBSEC
OBSEC Objective 1 away because they aren't in a Demons Battalion, or aren't in a Demons Detachment. So,
okay.
A little awkward. It does give up the hold more to Kryogen. Dude's really hoping to maximize those primary points as quickly as possible, and not able to do it this turn. But I think he will be able to dominate that center objective pretty easily on the following turns after he just kills Kryogen's troop sources in that area. A little awkward for bringing those mixed gas attachments. You lose a lot of efficacy.
All right, I'll start by moving the plague bearers. Yep, over
there. Samuel in the chat asking, why did the plague bearers get to roll 2 dice on morale? That's from the Sloppity Bile Piper right here. This guy. He lets
I passed this other unit, didn't
plague
he?
bearers within
yellow I auto passed.
6 inches to roll 2 dice and pick the lowest for morale. So it gives them a lot of control over their morale phase, which is important because a big strength of the plague bearers is their ability to regenerate when they roll 1 with their banner. They also they give great unclean ones +1 attack, so that's also useful. A bonus that I did not know, and I don't think has ever been relevant, so that's good. So Dude's here using that repositioned ability, the repositioned objective, thanks to Precious Cargo. He's going to be able to let these plague bearers hold that objective and remain out of line of sight for a little while. But I wonder where he's going to put these Thousand Suns units. Because he does have to be very careful about where they place, although he might be able to knock these Brimstones out with a Psychic or 2 and then get the rest of his attacking into the Lord of Skulls. And then just hope that the plague bearers can finish off the rest. Could be a big deal if he's if he's able to get a tri-point on one of Kryogen's cultists here, or one of the Brims. The Brims are probably easier to tri-point at this point. Kryogen has placed well to block a wrap. I think some cultists will have to die
decisions
in order to make that happen.
I think I'm just gonna.
But that would make the characters totally unshootable this turn, and really turn off a lot of the damage output from the Lords of Skulls. I don't think that Dudes can afford to bring in his reserves this turn. I almost would have liked to have seen a Tide of Traders to come in here and try to get that charge into the Engineers. That could have been a big steal from Kryogen, especially since those look eminently rampable. If you shoot at maybe just the Poxwalkers and then you try to get a charge into this guy and you make it, you can steal objective 2 away. And although these guys I don't think have OPSEC either, because they're in the same detachment that
Sork is going to advance.
They're in the chaos base, the mixed chaos detachment as well. So it could be a little awkward actually.
The other Sork will advance. Yeah. All right.
But Dutes will have to knock these Brims out before he starts hitting the Lord of Skulls again with Mortals. Fortunately, these 3 Sorcerers really forcing back those Lords of Skulls. They can't really commit into the Sorcerers and all the characters, because you can easily kill one in a turn on Dutes' side.
Okay, cool. End of movement.
What are we thinking, chat? Do we like Doots' position here? I think he might have lost a little bit, maybe too many models on his first turn.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to start
Lost
with
almost
the
40 40 infantry.
Tide of Traders.
Okay, we are going to tide trade these guys. All right.
Do what, sorry?
So doing Tide of Traders on the green cultists.
So they're going to pull out, and I think we're just going to force Kryogen to deal with him. Okay, we are going for objective 2.
If they've moved or not moved.
What's that?
I guess it doesn't really matter whether they've moved or not moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did move, but it won't matter. They'll count as moving anywhere. If I had advanced them,
I think we're going to fight for those engineers, which is, I think, the right call. That forces the Lords of Skulls to deal with these guys, or the Lord Discordant to move out of position to fight them. And realistically, I don't think you want to. You might not want to do that. Just because he's not the super thresher, Lord Discordant. So he'll kill a bunch of them, and then could potentially see some hits back if Typhus is able to get his buffs on this unit, which he might not be able to do. We'll find out. But certainly, if he's able to make a long charge here and knock these engineers out of commission,
if they're on top of this, they are not. They're
that will. That's
time.
Yeah.
That would be a big deal. That's 8 points right off the table for Kryogen, which could make the difference in the end. That also basically puts this enormous screening block in the way of Doots' characters for Kryogen. He's going to have to kill at least up to these guys in order to target the Thousand Suns, even if he's able to get through these models as well. So I definitely think that these Thousand Suns are going to be safe for another turn to shoot their massive amounts of smites. But it'll be interesting to see what Doots ends up going for with these guys, with these traders or heretic cultists. Might be angling for a position with his Warp Talons, but I don't think Kryogen's given him a good drop.
For now, so I'll go to my second phase.
Yeah, okay, we won't see them drop on this turn. He needs to kill these units.
Clean up my mess.
And hopefully force Kryogen to move forward so he can drop in one of the buildings
Typhus,
and let the characters charge in without Overwatch.
He's actually just going to chill. I don't need to risk anything. Armon is going to do Prescience on the Cultist. Gotta use my special dice. Prescience goes off on a 10.
Very nice. +1 to hit on the Cultist.
I might do... You still got Warp Time. Can you Warp Time those Cultists?
I cannot, unfortunately.
Dave.
Yeah, they defined set up as like any model that is set up on the board as reinforcements, so I can't actually Warp Time. It's kind of
yeah, that would be so brutal. I am glad that ruling was made.
Look at your ranges there.
Ooh. Yeah, building 88. Is somebody super gassy on stream? Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like somebody may have a chair that's squeaky or something, or ends rubbing up against their microphone.
You should just be in the way I measured it, so should be able to hit your corner.
It does sound like that a little bit though. It might be Doots. It's all these plague bearers, man.
Sword cannot, but
there's too many noxious fumes going off.
What's the other sorcerer got?
He's got Doombolt and Temporal Manipulation. So
he can't cast Doombolt on that guy this turn. I will then, in that case, try and deny with the cultists.
Okay.
Go off. I'm just going to let it through. I don't want to waste CP.
Okay. So that goes off. And then Armon is going to smite. And I think it's going to hit these brims here. Smite goes off on a 9. 4-2. Okay. Super duper. Cool. Moving on to the Terminator Sork. He is going to start off with a smite on the Lord of Skulls.
You can't.
What's that?
Stones are closer.
Oh yeah, I forgot these guys are outside here. Yeah, that's fine. We'll smite them. 2 to that cast, so regular smite. Does 2 mortals. Okay,
Chess
his
McGregor
next power will be...
says that Phil keeps lifting up. Phil, that being Kryogen, keeps lifting up his microphone.
The other spells you've got, do they have to be cast on closest visible?
So that's probably what we're hearing. But in
No,
my
just
head canon,
smite.
it's going to be the
Astral
quarterbacks, I
Blast
think.
also has to be closest visible if I use that.
What's the
But,
range on Astral Blast?
15 inches for 1,000 suns.
Okay, so way out. So
Yeah.
next 2, I will just take these 2 here.
Okay. Okay, his next power will be Zinch's Firestorm then on the Lord of Skulls. Does go off on a 7.
There he goes again. Those are his Plague Bearers.
5 mortals.
Boom! Nukes this guy for 5. We are finally down to half dead on the Lord of Skulls here.
Wounds.
Brutal!
How many
He's
more
killing
spells
the
can you send at him?
What's that?
How many more spells can you send at him?
I can pay CP for 1 more, otherwise he's done.
Just have to take them.
Let's take a look at the timing on the CP stratagem here to cast additional powers.
With the last Sork...
Some of them require you to do them anytime during the phase, and some of them
range.
require you to do them immediately after you cast your last power.
So... what do I want to do here? I'll spend the CP and cast with the Terminator Sork again.
Okay, looks like we're going to do it immediately anyway.
So he's going to do Infernal Gaze this time on the Lord of Skulls. Goes off an 8. Nothing. Okay. I don't need Armand to do anything else, so I'm just going to go straight to shooting.
It's at the end of your psychic phase. Interesting.
Armand did not advance, so he's going to shoot a Inferno Bolt pistol at the brims.
No worries.
Unfortunate that Doot wasn't able to knock the brims out here.
Wounds, AP2. Invul, I guess.
That does, I guess,
Good.
might give the Plague Bearers an easier charge, but maybe not. Unfortunately, wrapping them isn't really an option because they're going to run away at the end.
Question is, do I go for Lord of Skulls?
I imagine.
Yeah, cultists are going to shoot the Lord of Skulls.
Probably see a veterans on the cultists here to win that on 5s.
So let's see what I got here.
I like this play.
4,
Just
5,
keep
7,
that
8,
guy
9,
scared.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 29 shots into him. And I'll spend 1 for Veterans of the Long War.
Here we go. Although the conversion's pretty poor on these guys. We should only see 2 or 3.
No AP.
Okay, cool.
But
so hitting
Dude's
on
making the right call.
is
Just
presence.
keeping these Lords of Skulls low so his characters can finish the job later.
And then wounding on 5s. Is it Veterans?
It's a lot of wounds, though.
Up safe. Wounds.
Okay.
Yeah, 3
few
go through. Down to 11 on that
Got
Lotus
any
Skulls.
more shooting?
No, it's gonna be it.
Cool. I'll take it.
Okay. What I got you down to 11 now. Okay. Okay. It's gonna
Slowly
be
but
all
surely,
the
we're
shooting.
getting
I'll
there.
go to charges. Green cultists are gonna charge both these squads back here.
This is a big old roll, ladies and gentlemen. Oh,
I am so
2
tempted.
4s is so sad. Rerolling for the 5 up is like,
Yeah, they're gonna die if I don't, so I'll spend 1.
yeah, here we go. Roll for a 5
Got it.
up. Oh, and he gets it on a 10. Cultists charge into the engineer units. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. This could swing this game quite a bit here. If we see the cultists wrap one of these units, that will, unless the cultists die, that will force the engineers not to fight, and also make these models basically unchargeable. These guys, because there's going to be a unit that's melee that's closer. But at the very least, if these cultists can get into both of these units with a bunch of attacks, pump another veterans with their +1 to hit already online, and kill these units, then that is engineers gone for Kryogen for the entirety of the game. 8 points, 8 secondary points that he will never be scoring ever again. But if we do string them out, that is going to make the coherency a little awkward, but that does make them immune to morale, which is very nice. It saves a lot of CP.
Everybody outside of an inch, except for that first guy who went in.
Looks like we're going to try to wrap this guy that we marked earlier.
Next charge is going to be
Sick
Plague
play by
Burst
Doots.
into Brims. And
Brendan Spearin, yeah, I'm not sure what the issue is. I mentioned this earlier, but when I don't host the TTS game, TTS doubles all of the measurements. So just all their measurements are doubled on my end. I'm sure it looks normal for everyone else, but for some reason, it's just ×2. Sam, excuse me, 4 points. Yeah, 4 points for Kryogen. He's not going to score.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted you to do.
Getting gift wrapped.
Hopefully, if I am.
You're provoking me into combat, mate.
I'm not
Interesting.
terrible. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking I should have maybe. I don't think I hold these guys in though. Brims are just gonna die. Yeah, I don't see a way that I'm getting a wrap actually. At least taking care of future problems though.
Say again.
I can
Just talking to
check
myself.
to see if I have centimeters engaged, but I don't believe that I do. I think I've checked this in the past. Let's take a look here. If TTS will work. So my line drawer.
Outside.
Oh, I'm in spectator mode. I actually can't change it right now. Oops.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I'm not.
All right, I'll.
You know, when we were streaming yesterday, we didn't have this issue, or on Wednesday, and playing yesterday didn't have the issue. So it's only when I'm not the host of the game. I'm not sure why it happens. Yeah, we've had it on streams in the past. I mean, I can't. I couldn't tell you why it's like that. Just a strange vagary of TTS. Big turn for Doots here. He's going to get his recon. I'm not sure. I guess the wrap is good on the engineers, but you think you want to kill them as soon as possible. You for sure want to put as many models in combat with the Poxwalkers, I think, and just try to knock them out.
I'll put 3.
Because I'm not sure that the wrap will hold because you're about to get plastered by a Lord of Skulls.
So 2 into the Brims.
That said, this basically removes all of the shooting from the Lord of Skulls this turn if he's able to get wraps on both of these.
On 3s rerolling. So 2, no AP.
and die.
Although I
Okay,
don't
and
think
then
that
3
these
into the
orange
cultists.
guys will be able to get a wrap on.
4s and 3s. Plague weapon. 2 wounds.
No AP, isn't it? So
No
six.
IP.
I say 2 cultists die.
Okay.
So
Just pull 2 from the side, right?
oops.
Don't pull that guy. Don't pull that guy. If you
Your
pull that
base
guy.
fit through these two. I don't think they can. I'm going to flip that one and that one.
Okay.
I guess.
Let's see.
Did he base here?
I don't think he can fit through them.
What's that?
I didn't know if he could fit. I don't think he can fit through those two. Like in the middle of that bit, I don't think you can fit into
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. I
I
can't
think
get
that shouldn't
quite
matter,
in
right?
there. I'm
I
gonna go
don't
like
think
right
that
here.
matters.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
This guy is
good.
gonna come through here.
And then he's gonna put another here. Oh yeah, I think
And
that
base that
I think
guy.
that casualty pull from Kryogen might have just
Boop, boop,
given
boop.
Doots a wrap. If you just pull these 2 models in the back here, that doesn't open anything up. Is he hoping for Doots to wrap?
Basing everybody there.
Although he might be able to pull a squeak out here.
Don't
I think
I
it's a little
quite
questionable.
got it. Maybe.
We'll find out.
And whether
Yeah,
pick
it's,
up or not, I guess.
it's gonna be close. These other guys will just kind of move up like this. That's fine.
Still got the brim though, haven't you?
Yeah,
I do have the brim in case he passes morale miraculously or something.
Good play by Doots here.
Even if I do, I'll just smite and he'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so going with cultists now. Unless you want to interrupt.
Hmm.
No.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out if that wrap
this is the guy who's
is
in
good or not.
combat, and then I'll.
It looks
send
questionable
a
to me,
couple
but I would have to get in there
guys
myself, I think, and try to move the
over here
models.
as well.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna come wrap these brimstones.
Keeping this guy outside of an edge.
The bases and the plague bearers look too small.
Pretty colors. Okay.
I'm not sure.
So it's going to be 1 guy on the poxwalkers and
They do look
2
the same as the
attacks onto the
cultists.
brimstones.
Yep,
But the brimstone should also be on
So 1 on
32s,
the
right?
poxwalkers.
And that looks.
Miss,
those
and
might be
2 in
bigger,
the
I don't know.
brims. 1 hit. No wound. Okay.
Unfortunately, basing is hard to enforce in TTS because
there was
people
no
use
wound.
the models out of the catalog, which
Right, okay.
sometimes don't get updated for a
Yeah.
while.
So just
No.
onto you.
That's something that we'll have to. I think that's the next
sorry, let me
step
do
is
my
to enforce that a
consolidate.
little bit
Or forget. Canadian.
because there are basing charts available,
Boop,
and
boop, boop.
we can make that a little bit more enforced.
This guy's going to be right up against the wall. There shouldn't be any weird stuff going on there. And then all these guys will move in. Something like that. That's fine.
Okay. Doesn't matter which goes first, so I'll just attack with the brimstone air first.
Okay.
Attacks. 5s. and then a 6. The cultists will attack next. I think without even moving, they don't really want to do. They're not fussed, so I'll just like shove him in a little bit, and then they'll just do.
And then, yeah, keep in mind these guys are still -1 to hit as well.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, because you got 6 back.
Yeah. That was pretty big.
And the champion's got 2 attacks.
Yep.
On 5s. And wounded on 5s.
Mm-hmm.
Wounds.
Okay, 5 ups. And 5 ups. Ooh. Alrighty.
Can't you
Yeah.
do that with your psychers?
I think I'll just do that. Okay. And you got these guys.
Yeah, the brimstones are going to stay more or less where they are. They're not fussed about moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 can attack.
Okay.
I don't think that one can attack because is he inside of an inch? Probably not. So 12 attacks.
Brendan, there is no official GW basing guide for 40K. It's one of the big contentious things about the game, I think. Basically, whatever is currently packaged in a unit is what is widely regarded as what you're required to play with. But the unfortunate part is that sometimes GW just packages things with different base sizes, and it's very hard to enforce.
First time I've ever seen that happen. And then I've got.
It will come into play. I think if the players, if the players require a judgment call on that ramp there, I think we'll talk about the base sizes. But otherwise, in this situation, I don't think it's a big deal.
It's fine. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 can attack. Attacks.
Okay.
So this is hitting on 4s because there's more than 10 of them. Are they negative to hit?
No.
The negative to hit was shooting. I don't. Yeah.
I didn't get miasma off on these guys.
Right. I see you. And then wounding on 4s. So 4 goes through.
It's 3. Okay.
Are you within 12 inches of Abaddon?
They should be, yep.
Just out of interest.
Yeah, try to make it now.
No. No. Can't tide them again, so so that's it for fighting, isn't it? That's done.
Yeah, that should be it. Just morale.
Well, I'll roll it on the brimstones, but I don't expect him to be around anymore. I could spend 2 CP and then deny you a goal.
Yeah. And then I get my rappy wrap. I don't know if that's what you want or not.
Yeah, but then I can smite out of it and you don't get that kill for kill 1. You can't score a kill for kill 1 on my turn. I think that's correct.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm kind of tempted because even if I roll a 1 here, he's going to run.
Yeah, Brendan, there's a lot of examples of of models being sold
I'm gonna
at the same
auto-pass
time
him.
with different base sizes, which is why
Okay.
not having
and
a
I did
basing guide
lose
is
one
such
player
so
in combat.
so
I'm gonna
big.
take morale for them.
I lost 2 cultists, so I'm gonna have to roll for them. The side.
Actually lose an additional plague
Looks
bearer.
like players might have forgotten to flip the clock back as well.
Or do I?
We'll just have Doots.
No, I lost one. I'm good. Taking a
Run
cultist.
2 turns on his
Bad
clock. But I
leadership.
don't think the clock is going to make a difference in this game. I think the players are moving at a pretty fast pace.
So I'm gonna roll for the cultist because you somehow killed 2. I think you killed 2 with those guys, didn't you? Yeah. So
Yeah.
we know a nice high roll here, guys. So that's
So kills one, I think.
Okay, so this
and the one that
guy
I
in
need
the
to
middle
die
there
is
gonna
this
die.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still wrapped, but yeah.
Yeah, I can smite out.
If you want to move out, yeah. I mean, if you smite here, I'll just pull from.
Dan Palini, am I ready for
Then-
Wyverns to have
No,
effectively
I smite,
infinite
my
range?
brimstone dies.
Don't they already have infinite range?
The brimstone.
What's their range?
dies?
Like 72?
I don't know.
Whenever they cast,
Oh yeah. Okay.
it will allow me to shoot at them.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's only 48. I mean, 48 is basically infinite when you're indirect.
Don't wrap brimstones.
I don't know if I've ever been out of
Okay.
range
Well,
of a
you can
Wyvern.
wrap brimstones if there's more than one in the unit.
If there's more than one, right?
That's just a small lesson for you.
I would
But
like to
just
see,
then you know, I'm not smiting
as an
to kill one
aside,
of
I
your
would like
guys,
to
I'm
see
smiting
basically
so
all
that
of the
he will
ranges in the
die.
game reduced
Yeah,
by
yeah,
6 to
yeah.
12 inches. I think that would make the game
It's
more
been so
interesting
long
and
since
dynamic.
I've seen them on the board.
Yeah, it's fine. It's because they're so weak. Warp or whatever.
All right, cool. So no kill. Did get a hold.
So
of both,
Kryogen did deny the wrap on the cultist in the center. That is a
let's
big deal
see.
because it's
I've
going to open up his
done
guns to shoot.
Enough for 2 big games.
And
I got
he
a
may
recon this turn.
be able to pull this brimstone and deny
right.
this wrap as well.
Right. Okay. Cool. So are we all done now for your?
Yeah, on to you, man. You're good.
Okay. With this guy, I'm not healing him.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Okay.
get some more attacks. So he's gonna go up to 12.
So Kryogen could use his psychic phase to
gonna go and
kill
say hi
these
to these
2
cultists.
brimstones with their ability, which is what he was talking about earlier.
First of
Come
all,
on down.
first
Because
movement is-
after any psychic power that they cast is resolved, they die. So, unfortunately, those wraps for Doots not that great. I would have liked to have seen just a big veterans attack and just try to kill all the
I can't
engineers
get onto
here.
that objective.
I think that this was a big
No way I
misplay
can
on
move.
Doots' part.
Onto the objective because you've blocked it off. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I think that he
these
should have
guys will
just
be
swung.
screening duty then.
Forced a bunch of morale checks and potentially killed those 2 engineer units, or at least, I guess, swing into the Poxwalkers and kill a couple of the brimstones, and then force the rest of them to run away. But you have to kill the Poxwalkers because they're fearless. But with the Veterans of the Long War, I think we could have seen that done. Yeah, I mean, 48 inches, like a 60-foot table means 48 inches is better, but I mean, it also means that, like, it means that artillery banks are way easier to catch in melee. So I don't think it's actually that big of a deal. DS 4502. He was referring to the stratagem, the stratagem to regenerate 3. Which he used last turn. Because he could have healed it from 3 back to 15 instead of, because it was down to 11. He could have healed it to 15, which would have unbracketed it, but they get extra attacks when they're bracketed, so he wants to keep it that way.
Baden can move. Is his movement 6, is it?
Yeah.
Need to do this on this side first. Sorry. He needs to go up.
It'll be interesting to see if Kryogen gives opens this ruin for deep striking for Doots. If he does, and he puts a Lord of Skulls in charge range of there, we might see the Warp Talons go that way. And potentially, if this Lord of Skulls moves far forward enough, we could see the Smites knock it out, and the Warp Talons and the Raptor Lord deal a bunch of damage to the other Lord of Skulls. Because they do have to come down this turn. Shuma in the chat. Lord of Skulls, more like Board of Skulls. Somebody has to stop this madman's insane rampage across the circuit, all right? Then you get less Lord of Skulls. Shuma, it's up to you, buddy. You got to take your weird your weird rocket cars and your weird stompalists, and you got to build one that kills triple Lord of Skulls. Maybe it's just 3 shock attack guns and 400 grots. I think that might do it. Luke McCarthy, Abaddon is inside the ruin on the right hand or the left hand side here. Excuse me. He's with his council, his dark council of characters here. He's the Sloppity Biopiper. He's got Typhus. He's got his what are these guys? The Foul Blightspawn. He's got a Master of Executions for some spice. Just hanging out. They're having a little conflab back there, talking about how annoying it would be if Cultists ever ran away. Dan Palini, why wouldn't the Night Lord's Lord have the Relic Talons? I don't know. You'd have to ask Doots that. He took the Thunderhammer Power Fist that wounds on 2s, which I think is pretty good in this matchup. Wounding Toughness 8 on 2s and hitting it for a flat 3 is pretty strong. But I don't know what he would take. Shuma, I hope your 7 Greater Demons can beat the 3 Lords of Skulls.
Sorry, I'm going to move the Brimstones. I need some extra movement here. So.
Okay.
Just so you know, guys, we played the last turn on Phil's clock. So, Phil, if you wanted to shoot the clock to Doots for your turn, and then we'll just keep it on him. That should. Okay. Not that I think you guys are going to run out of time.
Is it doing... Oh, how's that working? We weren't even looking at that. It's just like so not used to it.
Yeah, we're working on repairing the overlay or updating the overlay here. We have a system where potentially where we could link the game, the in-game overlay with, or the in-game scoring with the ITC Battles app, which would allow us to display it directly onto a stream overlay, and then we could use the in-game overlay for the dice box and the chess clock, which would be a little bit easier, but there is still a little bit of work to do on
characters
that.
First, so
I'm working with the Pro Tabletop guys to do. Some cool announcements from Pro Tabletop today. They're running their own online circuit with their own set of events, which will culminate in a world championship. And one of the ways you can get invites to the world championship is through the T5S2 series. The 2 events are going to feed into each other, so PTTO standings, or PTTO online qualifiers will give you points towards the T5S2 series invitationals, and the T5S2 invitational will feed invites back to the PTTO World Championship. So it's going to be interesting and cool. I'm very excited. Competitive online 40K is actually taken off in a big way since this quarantine's happened. and I think we're going to see a lot of play in it in the future.
Right, okay. And brimstones are going next. Sorry.
Dan Palini, I
I'll
think
advance
one
these.
thing that
Will I advance these first? I need to find out a way to do this.
that Doot has going for him is he's got a pretty heavy Nurgle focus on him. So he might want that Nurgle keyword because it's a Nurgle demon weapon, I think. He might want that Nurgle keyword to cast Blades of Putrefaction on the Chaos Lord. Assuming it works like that. Now I have to double check. Assuming you can cast on out of Legion units with that, which I don't know. Because it's from the Death Guard one.
Oh.
Chaos Space Marine Soup is so confusing and silly.
That.
So actually, you couldn't cast it on the Nurgle guy. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure why he's gone with the Nurgle mark on that dude. It doesn't seem like the mark makes that big of a difference, but I don't really know that for sure. Do 9 Biovores beat the Lords with pure move blocking? Maybe. Just lock them in their deployment zone and leave them there for the entire game. I mean, fortunately, they shoot just as hard as they melee.
Further that way.
And they can move a little bit with the spore mines in the way. all you need him to do is just forget that he has an army.
Gonna be
just forget to
movement.
Just pass the turn back.
Okay.
Who cares?
I will start off my psychic phase by casting Smite with my brimstone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we're gonna burn all these brimstones away.
It doesn't go off, but I still die.
Well, the upside of 9 Biovores is that they're all indirect fire, and if there's one thing this Lord of Skulls list doesn't do, it's shoot indirectly.
So other psychic.
So 9 Biovores could just hide in a corner ruin and just hang out for the entire game.
Don't go off on a stick. Take care again. You've got one guy with a hammer coming down. How many attacks does the Gorvax thing have?
That'll be 5 on the charge.
With that, I'm not bothered. Infernal power.
Okay.
Is off on a 10. Right. So shooting.
Mm-hmm.
The Rapturous, I think I've stupidly put in a position where she can't shoot at the bearers because you can't see them. That's my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he can. Yeah, unfortunately, that was my bad placement there. Well,
it'll work out for you because then now I can't do my targeted smite sider.
Yeah, that's right. So,
it looks like Kryogen just blocked his own line of sight with his own Lord of Skulls here. A little awkward.
First
Oopsies.
of all, I'll send the disco into these guys here.
Okay. They are still -1 hit.
It's the whole phase. You'll get that.
Yeah.
It's the rest of the phase. So one explodes.
Okay.
And freeze. So 2 go through.
5 ups.
Oh.
And damage. Just 1.
2 damage. 2 damage. With auto cannon.
Okay. let's see. That'll kill. I'll just go there.
Yep. Fine. Okay, next up is this guy. Going into these.
Yep.
So he
Yeah, all you have to
will-
do to beat this Lord of Skulls list, everybody, is just play the Imperial Fist
he's just
artillery
firing
list,
normally.
and
There's
then
no
just hope you get the
stuff going on.
50-50 and win the roll to go first.
So,
Just kill them all immediately.
bad placement by me again. Oh, I've just about got that. That's fine. So all of them are in range. So this will be these rerolling ones. That was
Ooh.
yucky.
Oh boy, this shooting phase not going well for Kryogen.
Breaks
Yikes.
there.
Not doing nearly as much as he'd like.
And use rerolling ones. More shots for Crimson.
Rerolling ones from.
Infernal Power. That did go off this turn.
Okay. Oh, it was Cursed Earth that didn't go off.
That didn't go off, yeah. Rerolling ones. Oh. Cool. So only 7.
Three go through.
And then D6 shots for the Icor.
Yep.
5. Eight and 3s. Only 2.
Yeah,
Damage.
wow. This is
D3, so I'll roll them.
really falling apart a little bit for the,
So this one's 2.
for the Lords of Skulls. Slowly but surely able
Dead
to
and
to start
3.
knocking down these Plague Bearers,
Dead.
but it's taking them a while. And Doot's with the CP to auto pass.
so
Obviously, the
next
cultists
up,
don't have to worry
I
about it
will
unless they die
fire
because of this guy next to Abaddon.
See, more or less the same. I'll fire the back guy at him.
Okay.
Just fire normally.
But even between Lord of Skulls and the Disco,
Explode.
I don't think that he's going to have the opportunity to
2s.
kill this whole unit. Although
Going
those guys do
ones.
a ton of attacks. I don't know if they have 40 of them,
One more shot for Crimson.
but we'll find out.
14.
Oof. 5 ups. Hard to make. Let's see. What's that? 10.
So it's falling apart a little bit for Doots here, so we are going to see a bunch of these orange guys go down.
4, 5.
I do feel like you'd keep one on 4, right? Maybe not. Yeah,
I
maybe
can
he's
still just
assuming
about.
that unit's
Oh,
gonna die.
yeah, the Icor cannon's going into him as well now. So
Interesting. That will give Kryogen hold more this turn, almost regardless of what else happens.
2 shots.
Unless those, or at least hold the same, unless those
Got what? 4 left.
guys
4
auto
left, yeah.
pass.
What have I got in terms of? I will not be able to kill them then. I can see. It's annoying. He killed too much.
And it does look like
will-
we might have a landing zone here, 9 inches out from the cultists.
I'll CP reroll that.
For the Raptors. Obviously, the
Okay. Was that
Warp
number
Talons
shots?
himself can't be Overwatch,
5.
so they don't care. They can deploy
Nice.
anywhere and charge in. But the Lord needs a place to
Just in
stand. I
case
think
this
he can
works.
stand here, and we can get those 2 units in on this Lord of Skulls. Although, giving him an opportunity to interrupt could be
Race
bad.
goes through though.
So maybe you
On
just send one
Crimson.
in. But I imagine
Yeah, boy.
that this Lord of Skulls will get taken
No,
out by the Smites this
enough.
turn.
One more shot.
Yep.
We just have to finagle
It's-
one or 2 more. And that will
But
be
re-roll in.
pretty bad for
And
Kryogen.
so forth.
Oh, damage.
Damage D3.
Yep.
Roll it.
All right, so the ones.
We're seeing some
Save
really
those.
cool play coming out of Doots here. This
The
is
2.
this is going to be an intense game coming
almost,
towards
and
the end.
3. Dead. So there's 2.
Yeah, fair enough. Much I can do there. Right, okay, so next up, I'm going to CP you on. So can't shoot at anything else, I don't think. Hiding all your cultists behind there, and the other guys can't be seen. I'll charge this guy into these.
Okay.
That's fine. He's in range of all the characters still.
Yep.
Got no negative to hit, right?
Correct.
Okay. What else am I
see
charging
this
in?
disco
I'm not
go in
charging
there?
anything else in.
No.
That's just going to be it.
We're just going to hit him with the
Okay.
Lord of Skulls. All right. Let's see how it goes.
So I'm going to get 21 attacks here.
It's 8 times 3, right? Or what's? Or no, he's at 12.
7 times.
Yeah, so
7
6.
times.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh,
hit
because
on
he gets
2,
hateful assault. Yeah. Okay.
on 2s.
Yep.
Rolling 1s.
Ooh. Well, good thing he's got that +1 to hit. Dude's really missing his
All 5 of
miasma
those
of
explode.
pestilence. Oh no. Oh
isn't it?
dearie.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 2s. Oh my god.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
jeez.
Re-rolling 1s.
Crimson Crown just blowing up here.
And
This
then it's
is
that times
brutal.
3. So
Yeah.
pretty sure these are dead.
Deleting stuff.
Okay. Move these out of the way so they're not any confusion. And these have all
Well,
gone through.
I wasn't sure if the
These are
cultists, if
additional.
the Lord of Skulls would have the attacks to kill all the cultists, but looks like when you roll 9 6s, you can make anything happen. I think we might see this whole cultist unit blasted. Yikes! That's a big swing right there. I think Doots was hoping to have these cultists
Just
survive a
interested to
turn,
see
deny
how
a
many
kill
this is.
for
Yeah. I was about to
Kryogen.
say, let's just throw it up
54.
there. Okay.
54
Yeah, I'll
dead
just,
cultists.
Jeez. Yeah, without all those 6s, he doesn't do Millerism. He does less than half that damage. Oh my gosh. And we can see there, you're missing the Miasma of Pestilence that turn. Really, really killed Doots as well. Because a lot of those
I
hit
definitely
rolls were
predicted
2.
that would happen. Cool. So
And that will unlock his engineers as well. Brutal.
that
Absolutely
will
brutal for
be.
Doots.
I'm
Jeez.
not going to move him. I'm going to leave him exactly where he is. That's fine. And
and I'll pay $2 to pass Flame Bearers.
fair enough. We hold an equal amount.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yikes bikes. All right. Well, yeah, dudes needed those cultists to stay alive one more turn, I think. But there you go. Lords of Skulls. Pretty good units, turns out.
All right. Let me just think about where I'm at right now. So I'll get another hold bonus.
Maybe this turn Dude's audibles. He'll get this dead, I
Let's play it
imagine.
out. See what happens.
And I think maybe he goes for the engineers again with the warp talons.
I will just max Reaper now, man. It's just
yeah. I tell everybody I play, just go ahead and mark it. It's not a big deal. Look at these guys. They're shivering. They're so cold. Come here, buddy. All right.
Did you get any back?
DS 5402. How many points will a Lord of Skulls go up in?
I just saw it past these guys.
It seems to me that this variety of
they would've
list
run out of it.
becomes very difficult in ninth. We'll have to see how the detachment rules go, but I think just the list itself might be dead. Because souping multiple, it's unclear whether souping multiple sub-factions into a faction will still be legal, and even if it is, souping all of these different weird types of detachments in, I think will just cost you all of your CP. Not to mention the fact that with 20% less, you just don't have any infantry or something like that, and then I think the list kind of falls apart.
Terminator Sorkle advance.
The hope is that the combinations that make this list possible will get cleaned up, but I'm not sure if that will happen. The issue is that the chaos sub-faction keywords are so vague and open that you can do bizarre stuff like this.
Level of mercy here. So this guy is just gonna pop back here. I'm cool with that. A little bit of movement lost, not a big deal. Armon, just gonna come this way a little bit. They're going there, they're going there. Cool. All right.
Prince Spear Doots would have used all of his CP. His list has units from 32 different codexes. Unfortunately, it looks like these cultists might continue to block some smites from the Thousand Suns.
I don't even think it's worth it.
That would be unfortunate for Doots. He needs all of his smites to go into the vehicles right now.
Yeah, probably not. All right. Yeah, into movement. Let's bring in the boys.
So it looks like Doots is going to line up charges into the
Why you do this to me?
into the engineers this turn with the warp talons. I hope that he leaves his Chaos Lord out of it until either he can get a single charge in on a Lord of Skulls, or hit something else a little bit less scary, or just hide him. He could hide him in this building for a while and still threaten out, basically this whole bubble very easily. But you can't let 2 units get into on a Lord of Skulls, as we've seen before, because the
What's that?
You'll get nuked by the
High
interrupt.
warp talons.
Yeah, they want to die too. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like he will. All right. Good play there. I like it. So that'll give those guys a +2 on their charge. So it's a 7 with a reroll. Pretty reliable. It's about a 75%er to get those guys in without any other buffs being used.
Yeah, and this Chaos Sword is inside this building, bottom floor. So he's very, very scared.
Okay.
I wonder if Doots will go for a kill on...
Actually, I'm going to move him up in this corner a little bit.
One of these engineer units and search for the ramp on the second one just to deny another
What's
turn
the AP on
of
what color?
Kryogen's shooting.
AP2?
All right.
But I think the hope is that this Order Skulls goes down to the
let's do some psychic powers.
smites right now.
I'll start with Armon. Let's go ahead and smite cultists.
Cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, these cultists are going to eat a lot of this efficacy out of the Thousand Suns detach, which will suck.
Goes off at a 9. 3. Next power is going to be Prescience on the Warp Talons. Goes off on a 10.
Hang on. Right. I want that going off. Guessing you're
Yeah, it should be out.
out of range of
Just
that.
McGregor. Let's hope Phil's opponent remembers he has +2 to charge this time. Oh, yeah. I think so.
So you're not going to score that.
I'm
but
hoping.
the cultists can. This might be important. So I think I'm going to deny that with the cultists.
Yep.
So it's going to spend a CP for the word bear or for the world eaters. Deny. And it works.
Okay, and then I'm going to go
2 for 2 for those. Every time I use a 4+ deny, I always fail, and then I reroll and I fail it again. It's nice to see somebody getting good use out of them. But yeah, we did see Canona and Fooders. Deathwatch had a Canticle of Hate on them, and he just totally forgot.
Terminator Stork
unfortunately,
into the Lord of Skulls. Actually, what am I looking at here?
Messed him up pretty hardcore.
Yeah, I'll do Zinch's Firestorm into the Lord of Skulls.
Okay, Mortal Wounds. Let's see him.
It goes off on a 13.
Ooh.
What was that spell?
Zinch's Firestorm.
On this guy.
This is targetable, so it's going on the Lord of Skulls.
Yeah, that's fine.
We only have to get through 12
3.
wounds here, right? Yeah.
And then he will Infernal Gaze.
Dan Palini, ironically, broke the rules.
Yeah, I'm going to use and within in this phase.
Okay. So it's 3 down 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. It was partly on me for missing mandatory charge bonus.
Okay.
Since Catechism of Fire or Canticle of Fate just gives you +2. It doesn't say you can add +2.
Goes off on a 9. For 2.
Cool.
Down to 8, looks like.
Okay, my other Sork is going to smite cultists.
Unfortunately, these cultists really screwing with Doots' psychic phase. That's the
Smite
big
was off.
downside of focusing on smites as your
4-1.
damage output, is that they are very easily played around.
And then he's going to try to Doombolt the Lord of Skulls. Missed it. And that is going to be it. So Armon is a scared boy. Yeah. All right. Warp Challenge are going to charge everything that they can.
You get they ignore Overwatch, don't they?
Yeah. So it looks like it's just Lord of Skulls.
So it looks like we're going to try to take this Lord of Skulls out here. Pretty unfortunate that the cultists were so resilient to the smiting and that the Thousand Sun Sorcerers weren't able to get their work done. But they are trying real hard to stay outside of
9, 10, 11 inch charge.
Cool.
Infernal and Rapturous bubble here. Here they come. Going 11 inches.
Not going to kill this guy, so...
looks like we might just be going for engineers.
I guess I just try to kill...
That'll be a good swing there.
Oh yeah, you haven't got any vets. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Are you doing it again?
Yeah, we'll go again.
Oh.
With no cursors on the table, and the Warp Talons do get full rerolls to wound.
I don't even
Lightning
think they're going to
Claws.
kill these guys without presence.
It's a non-zero chance that they actually burn down
Deny me those points.
the Lord of
And I
Skulls,
have
but
to
it is
kill him,
really
though.
awkward. Just trying to roll.
This is definitely worth
sixes.
an auto pass.
Okay, so starting with them, of course. So what I'm going to do is... looks like I can get 3 into the Poxwalkers. And everybody else will just go into Brimstones.
I wonder if the highest
so 3
upside
attacks each.
for
So I've got
Doots here would be to kill both engineer units and consolidate into the building.
sorry, 7 going into the...
And if you stay an inch off the wall, I guess he has to come around and shoot on the backside, but he only moves like 4 inches right now.
Hitting on 3s. And wounding on 3s, rerolling everything for Lightning Claws.
So this is on the Poxwalkers. Big hit on the Poxwalkers.
Okay,
I think we
those
might
are
see them
82.
die. Just their 5-up, feel no pain. Statistically, we should see them go down. Goodbye, Poxwalkers.
And then I had 3
Oh, excuse me, that was the Brimstones. I think he was doing the Brimstones on 2.
into the Poxwalkers.
Are they toughness 3 or 2? Oh, they're toughness 3. No, that looks like an
So
outdated
threes.
data sheet.
What's the damage on this out of it, by the way?
Just damage 1. And 3's rerolling. Alright.
No, not going to kill the Poxwalkers. That's too bad.
It's in the Poxwalkers.
Okay, so 5-up, feel no pain. Just damage 1, yeah?
Just damage 1, yep. Solid.
So 4.
Yeah.
That's enough. We'll leave him on the objective so they get engineers again next turn.
Cool.
No, they won't get engineers because you fought them, haven't you?
I was just rereading that, and you have to use their attacks in my turn. So if you fall back and stay on the objective, you'll still get it. Or sorry, you have to use attacks in your turn to not get it.
Oh,
So
I see.
I'm pretty sure you can.
But if
fall back
something
and still
kills them before they attack, that's also a thing.
get it. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Can Trevi verify that?
Might be a deal. Let's see.
What's the question?
This matters. Okay, so Trevi, the question here is, if my engineers don't fight on my turn, next turn, if the Lord of, for instance, if I hypothetically send a Lord of Skulls into these Warp Talons next turn,
Yep.
they all die,
Yep.
and my Poxwalkers haven't fought yet, do they still get their engineers point?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in that case you would. Yeah.
Yeah, the only
I'm
requirements is that you start and end on your move, the turn on an objective, and you don't make any attacks.
I
And
lost
if you haven't
4.
make any attacks
That's
or
fine.
cast
I
psychic
just
powers.
moved the 4 at the back.
Okay.
And then as well, pile in as many as possible.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna try to consolidate in a sec.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of an awkward turn
Would that
for
have
Dudes
been
here.
done before I fought then? Oh, well, no, this is after. This is after I pick up, isn't it? That's fine.
He needed more swings into the Poxwalkers to kill them.
Yeah, that's fine with me right there.
And then I think you're okay with leaving the Brimstones alive, but you do
not
have
aiming
you're
to get
forced
out
to
of
make
it
some
either.
attacks on the Brimstones the way it worked
So-
out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if there was a more
You do
efficient
get your
pile
swing
in he
backs,
could have
though.
done.
Yeah, so I might as well do that. I'm pretty sure all of them can. Are you happy with that? This guy moves there.
Yeah. You're in there.
So 2, 3, 4,
And
5,
even just
6,
killing both
7,
units would
so
have given
7 times
dudes
2.
the
But they're
building
hitting
to
on
hide
5s
in.
now.
But this way, they're just going to get shot and die. And
These
we
guys
might
being immune to
see
morale is
Lord
really
of
useful,
Skulls
actually.
steam their way to another victory.
Yeah. I run Poxwalkers on my other list, and I'm actually like pleasantly surprised how well they do. Especially next to Typhus.
Definitely worth their points in this game, to be honest. 2, 3, and this will be 5s again. So 1 AP.
Unfortunately, I think
Sorry, I grabbed.
Dudes needed to have smited this Lord of
No
Skulls
AP,
down
right? Yeah,
this
sounds good.
turn or last turn. Unfortunately, the
no
screening
morale
by
for
Kryogen has
Poxwalkers,
been on point.
so that's
And he hasn't had the
Did you
chance
see
to
your
get more
last-
than just a couple more wounds in on
yeah, I guess it is. So 4 died.
the Lord of Skulls.
You have killed something though, so I'm not fussed if. So 4 died. Yeah, no, they don't care.
Yep.
Call to see if it stay
so
around.
you've healed a total of 5 wounds on this Lord of Skulls. Just trying to make sure.
Yeah, so we should
Let's
have
see where
3
I'm
big
at
game
for,
hunters for dudes here.
So I've done 25 wounds. Just trying to make sure where I'm at for big game. Okay.
And then we should see Kryogen max his engineers.
Hold.
And
Did I grab those this
Dudes
turn? I
has
did.
not scored his
Okay.
recons.
I think I missed my recon though. Or did I? No, I guess my plague bears are up here.
Plague bears, yeah, he'll be okay.
Yes, I did get recon.
So he can move 12 and then charge.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dangerous for Poxwalkers. He have a bonus to his charge rolls.
Yeah, he gets +2 because of his warlord trait.
He must be. Just block him with that boy. We're looking at like over a. It's interesting.
What do you got? A 12-inch, 10-inch?
12-inch, yeah.
Yeah.
Be an 8-inch. Well, actually, would it be an 8-inch? It's a 7-inch. I might do it.
Yeah, Brendan Spear and yeah, Lord of Skulls are crazy good.
12-inch.
The other issue is that you don't want to send
12, yeah,
2
it's a
units
7-inch
in to fight a
charge.
Lord of Skulls, as we've seen in the past several times. The Lord of Skulls, as long as you have
Very
CP, the Lord of Skulls will just interrupt,
interesting.
and if it puts all of its slash
tempted.
attacks into one thing, it will kill almost anything.
These
in the game.
cultists are going to try and do their job. They're going to advance first.
So if you send these 2 units in to it, you know, the Warp Talons get to swing and beat it for a bunch of damage. If they don't kill it, it interrupts and it just kills the Chaos Lord, and you just lost that guy for no reason. You traded him for 2 CP, and you need those powerful attacks in the late game here.
It's potentially worth 2 points.
I think Dudes has kept his characters relatively safe, though.
Sorry, do you mind if I'm going to spend a CP to heal him?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
This guy can come
think
up in
it's really
here.
changed
We
game
could
state
see
at
this
all,
guy
so-
kill
Yeah.
these
I
guys,
don't think
these
he's going
dudes. And then if these 2,
so he's
or
up
if
to
one of
12.
these shoots the Warp Talons to death, another one can start shooting into the characters. But you do have to kill all the Warp Talons. in
Tempted to
one go.
re-roll that advance.
That's a 2-point swing. It might be worth it, honestly.
I'll CP re-roll that.
That's that 4 flat healing each turn.
Oh my god.
On the Lord of Skulls is really brutal. This Lord of Skulls is basically a 36 wound Titan right now because it's healed 8 so far.
So I'm down to 1 CP now. It's really annoying. They get 7-inch movement. So I shouldn't have never charge onto that objective. I can at least shoot those off, so it's not that big of a deal.
Oh, it looks like the players have swapped their colors in the clock. Nice. Huh.
I might do, because these guys aren't wrapped, is move the Poxwalkers out of combat.
Can we get
Yeah, for
the
sure.
clock swapped back to Phil's side?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, no worries.
Again, forgetting about the clock.
No, I think there's not much longer going on here.
Yeah, Poxwalkers are coming out, because then I can start shooting at Arrowman, etc.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is weird that the Lords
so
of
the
Skulls,
cultists have moved
they don't
first,
just have
though.
the Titan
So,
rule, right? Where they can fall back and shoot. They can fall back over infantry and they can fall back and shoot and charge. Like, it's bizarre that they have a different version. It's very strange. Anyway, it feels very Forge Worldy, where they would just sort of write something similar and not look at the templating that already exists. Because mechanically, it feels like they should be Titans, but they're slightly better for no real reason.
Move the Poxwalkers out, but stay on the objective. But they'd all have to move back a little bit further.
Mhm.
These guys can't do any stupid heroic. Oh, it doesn't really matter because I'll be dead by then.
Yeah, I'm at a CP anyways.
Well, can they see heroically intervene with CP?
No. I would. I could have maybe fought twice last turn, but if I had CP, obviously.
No CP. That's fine. Right. So, I am going to do is definitely charge into these because you've left them 1 inch away from the.
I mean, it doesn't really make sense, Dan. You know, if you say legs can walk over infantry without hurting them, why couldn't a caterpillar? You know,
This is really good actually.
you know, a big backhoe basically.
He's going to move up, so he's going to be as close to him as possible.
The game is abstracted to the
Yeah,
point that I
works.
don't think
1.1
sort of
inches.
rationalizations like that really matter.
I'm going to move this guy up to. Can only move 7. Okay. And then I'm going to move the Demon Prince up. And I'm going to advance the Master of Possession.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's enough. Disco doesn't really need assistance to kill 2 big bearers there. This will be enough. Just want to get him behind this skull, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any line of sight on the way it is.
That's fine. This is going to move up to here.
Yep.
Because he needs to protect from this Gorvax fella. Yeah, fine. Far did he move? That was a bit further. Move up to there.
Sure.
Up, but I do want somebody saying hello to these guys.
Yeah, it's kind of weird and inconsistent. Like you can you can shoot when you're touching an infantry dude, but not a dude on a bicycle.
So he
like okay, is the bike
he's gonna move
taller
around like that,
or like a swarm of scarabs or like nurglings? Like do the nurglings like get up in like all up in your gun and stop you?
sure. Then this guy's gonna move right away. He's gonna move. Eight. It's just to get the range on the guy there.
Yep.
Okay. I've got this Lord of Skulls on this objective, so I don't need to move these cultists out and risk them at the moment. So
yeah, looks good.
It's fine. Poxwalkers are on this one over here. These brimstones don't really need to do anything at the moment, so they'll just stay put. Cool. So obviously I know you can potentially deny the stuff here, so still going to try and cast anyway.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Infernal Power. Still weren't showing what it likes to do. It's off on a 10.
Okay, I'll try to deny with Armon. Nope.
And I'll cast. Does it even need it? Cursed Earth. And go off anyway. So, no smites from stones. My shooting. I am going to fire my Hades Gatling cannon into these cultists.
Okay.
And I'll fire the Icor cannon into the Warp Talons. I don't think I'm going to kill enough with that to not have any left. So. Do I want to do that, or do I want to do?
Corn Lotus Calls was probably worried he would get splattered if
I'm not
he
going to do that
shoots
yet.
with the
Actually, I'm going to
Nurglings
fire
there.
him into these with the 6 shots.
Ew, they're so gross. Oh no. Get away.
So hitting on 2s. Hit. Then hit wounded on 4s. 5 go through. Minus 1 AP.
I think
Got
this is a
4 AP,
matchup in
minus
which
1 AP.
Dude's
Okay,
was sort of hoping for the second turn, honestly.
Okay.
A little weird. But you can potentially hide your Plague Bearers.
Sco's
Give the
going to
Lords of
fire at him.
Skulls enough to shoot some of the cultists, then just Tide of Traitors them immediately.
Do this.
And then you have the opportunity to hold more every turn.
Oh my God.
But I can definitely see him wanting to
Don't
get
need
his
him to
psychic
pop
powers
off too
online,
much.
Before he.
You're on a 1. Right, so only 4. That's good.
Before the shooting came in.
Minus 1, 2 damage.
Yep. Forks. 2.
You're going to be able to kill. He's underneath, so he can't be shot at, right?
Yeah, he's bottom floor.
need to kill the cultists off of this objective. Not risking an Icor into these guys. And again, oh no, no one else can see those cultists. I don't think the middle one can. I need to do it like this. Sky will fire with guns into these.
Okay.
I will not Demon Forge. No, I'm just going to fire normally. At least I've got the other one in case that doesn't work. So, guns. Oh, he's out of range of the disco, is he?
Yeah, it seems like
One's out of range of the disco, so I lose the two.
Phil's losing a little bit of efficacy here because he's assuming he's going to melee these two.
That explodes.
But like I was pointing out earlier, I think he could have finagled line of sight on these two with a Lord of Skulls on objective
6
5.
in that squad.
And then if he shoots these guys to death with another Lord of Skulls, he's open to hit the characters. But
and then one more
he's
shot.
trying to maximize his attacks, and I think in doing so, he's making it harder on himself.
So 8 minus 2.
At least this way, he's sure that
So lose 4.
he'll have potentially melee on them. But I don't think he needs it. Yeah, he's just going
And
to
then
kill them.
D6 for the Icor.
And at this point, I mean, it's a non-zero chance that these characters
need to spend that last CP to re-roll that.
can run backwards, and you ring the center of this with Plague Bearers to make them closer.
B.
And you keep the Thousand Suns characters alive for as long as he
Explodes, so
possible.
3 go through. 3s.
And
Oh man, that's brutal. Minus 4.
Warp Talons
They'll
might
die.
survive.
They'll die in leadership or whatever.
But I
Okay,
think they're
so
gonna
it's
run
not too
away.
bad. It means that I
Could've been
can't
funny if they-
shoot at your characters.
Yeah.
What I was aiming to do. That was.
Well, I think the Plague Bearers would have blocked you anyways.
Oh, I forgot about them.
So it looked like he failed to kill the Warp Talons anyway, but I would have liked to see some better sequencing here from Phil, for sure.
Would be seen.
A little bizarre that a single Warp
That guy
Talon
can't
survives
be
that
seen.
shooting phase. Well, you have to pick, right? Whether you're going to melee the Warp Talons to death or shoot the Thousand Suns characters, because you cannot do both. You either shoot all the Warp
This
Talons.
guy will
you shoot these two units to
everything
death,
to the cultists.
Yeah.
so that the last thing can shoot the characters.
Because
Or you assume you're going to melee. And he was, I think, assuming he was going to melee.
Roll for it.
Because it looks like this guy has range.
He definitely is
if a
hitting
guy
on two.
outside survived, that he could get to melee with him. I mean, I can't really blame him with the damage output that he put down earlier in the game for assuming that the Lord of Skulls would just kill everything, because that's what they've been doing. But seems like maybe a little bit of a confused turn. I'm not sure it changes the outcome of the game. I think Doot's needed. With Doot's list probably relies on having sort of an immense.
If you want to pick them up, that's it's minus 2. So.
Yep.
Okay, so that's them dead.
Doot's list relies on having an immense primary objective.
Not doing any charges over here because he'll run some around
by the time
anyway.
he gets to the late game and his characters have to fight things out. But in this case, he's basically on parity with Kryogen. And he's going to slowly lose efficiency because he just hasn't killed enough of Cryogen's big hitting power. I think Doot's list is very cool and very techy, but unfortunately, it's just I don't think has the tools to just punch through this enormous blob of crap that he's got to shoot through.
I'll roll it because it might be important. What I'm going to do. Basically, he's gonna long ways. But touch him still.
Okay.
Does it give him? No. I don't think he can, so he'll just go straight in like that.
Okay.
So I'll roll for this. So this is
Now we'll see these plague bearers picked up as well, and I think the warp
I'm
talon
gonna
has to
take
run
this
away
Warp
in
Talon out.
morale.
He's dead.
a 5 attacks. Yeah.
Okay.
So does Doots have a?
So this isn't -1,
Does
is
he
it?
have
So
a play out of
twos,
this?
rerolling ones.
He might be able to keep the Thousand Suns
Prince.
characters safe,
Yep.
or all these characters safe.
One
with
doesn't explode
Poxwalkers,
because
like I
I'm
was
not
saying,
next
with
to
an advance into the corner of the
MOP.
building. If he's able to
Rerolling ones,
finally
but
kill
2
this
extra
idiot
attacks.
between this guy
hit.
charging and the smites from the
Wound.
Thousand
Then I'll roll the other
Suns,
one because it was another.
Okay.
Okay, so 5.
And damage on these.
2 damage each.
unfortunately, he just has to give up kills
Cool. Are
eventually.
dead.
He basically needs to kill that Lord of Skulls without having to charge it.
Oh,
If he can do that, I think we're in business, maybe. But Kryogen
that
just starts
will.
bonusing every
He
turn on the
will
center objective.
consolidate 1, 2. Does he want to get in visible range of that thing? Them? Not really. No, he's going to stay there.
Okay.
Actually, I'd rather he get hit than. Actually, he's good. I'll leave him now. Sorry. It's
Sure.
my indecisiveness. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
Okie doke. So you're gonna get kill, hold, kill more, and then we're both holding the same, right? Is that what it was? Or no, you're getting hold more now. Cool. And engineer. All right.
I think we're 1 down on engineers for Kryogen so far because I think he should have gotten 1 last turn, but I don't believe that it matters. So Dude's maybe hoping that he kills this Lord of Skulls in the Psychic phase. If he can get a charge in on some of the other characters and buff up that Headhunter score, I think that will be good. That'll bump his score up anyway, but unfortunately, he doesn't really have options besides just giving Kryogen kills here.
Oh, I should be another point up on engineers, I think. Should be 2 points.
Okay. Typhus is gonna move out.
Starting to see the others.
Abaddon's gonna move.
Up and in.
Yeah, I have to.
I guess we're just diving. This game's going to end one way or another. Let's just make it happen, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, Armon's gonna advance. Let's see. The other Sork will advance. Okay, psychics. I'm going to start with Typhus. He's going to smite the cultist.
Okay, so we're hoping to kill the cultists with a Typhus Smite.
Fails, and then he
flub.
will Blades of Putrefaction himself.
That's too bad.
It goes off on a
That means they're
6.
going to get at least one more hit from the Thousand Sun Sorcerers.
Regular Sork is going to smite cultist.
Oh, jeez.
Fails, and then
oh, boy.
Armon will smite the cultist.
That's not what he needed.
Goes off on a 8.
Let's roll a 3 here.
For 1.
Oh, jeez. Well.
So that one which hits my other stuff, what range do they have to be in for it to hit it?
3.
He's going.
Okay.
Jeez.
Armon is going to do...
Needed those cultists to go down to the first shot. And then I think he has the beef to kill the Lord of Skulls. But
Presence on the Chaos Lord.
Doesn't look great.
That goes off on an 8.
Fine.
He had one big good turn of mortal wounding.
Yeah,
and then
Armon's going to warp time
the
Abaddon.
chaff has just been absolute monsters at eating these mortal wounds.
Which barely goes off. His warp time is 6. I always forget.
Yeah. So Aramon's hasn't got +2 to cast, has he?
Yeah, he's got plus. Yeah, it is 6. Yeah, so that's going to fail. Fantastic. Okay,
Psychic
so
phase is
Terminator
falling
Sword.
apart.
We'll do the Astral Blast into the cultist. Goes off on an 8.
Okay. So before this goes on, I am within range for a deny here.
Sure.
Was that them? Actually, am I? Let me just check.
Looks a little long.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Your Demon
Not-
Prince? Oh, he's corn.
No.
Yeah.
So that does go off.
Okay, so that'll just auto kill the cultist, and then 2 to the Lord of Skulls. And then I will Zinch's Firestorm the Lord of Skulls. Goes off.
Rolling 6s.
Come on, let's get a big 6 here. So I just did 2. I just need 3 wounds to get my 3rd big game.
Got Gorvax for that.
Yeah, I got other plans for him.
Yeah.
All right.
Yikes.
Uh,
That sucks. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I deserve that psychic phase
I think that
for
was
my previous shenanigans.
Yeah. Your previous psychic phases were mental.
That's
Right.
Yeah, the 2 like
Probably
5
there,
mortal
I think.
Zinch's Firestorms in a row. Okay. So let's do some charges. Chaos Lord's going to charge the Enraptress and the Mop.
Okay.
She's got like shooting, right?
Yeah. So because I'll Hail Mary and see if I can something. What's the save on this guy?
3 up, 4 up.
So 6 shots.
Okay.
So him.
Right.
And I might as well grenade him.
Oh, sure.
Is that in range?
Does he have a bolt pistol?
The bolt pistol. He'll bolt pistol.
Okay.
Can reroll 1 for Infernal Power. Because he's got demon keyword for Insidium, but hit doesn't hit.
Okay. Charge is going to be a 10. Super.
What's the leadership on this guy?
He is leadership 9. It's Chaos Lord.
Okay.
I'll just base you just so there's weird on. Abaddon is going to charge the Disco Lord.
all right, Abby. Let's blow that dude up.
Oh,
Oh.
and Typhus will charge him. Hey, Typhus.
Hey, we got one in.
Came out to play today.
I don't know if Typhus has the quite
Right.
has the damage output.
Okay,
to go
is
to
it
Discord,
start your
but we'll
fight
find out.
phase yet?
That is the end of my charges.
Okay,
Yes.
I am going to attempt to use the Forbidden Gem on your Gorvax.
Yep. That'll do it.
He is switched off. He cannot fight.
Yep. So Typhus and the Disco Lord.
Wah, wah.
So hitting on 2s, and then what is he?
T6. Yep.
Okay, so it would have been 3s, so now it's 2s, and 6s do mortals. All right, so 4, those are AP3.
What's damage?
3 damage each.
Okay, so he's on 3 wounds left.
Yep. Almost got him.
Ooh.
I did that the right way around.
Getting worked up.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, now the Disco's going to get pissed, so he's going to smack you back.
Sure. I'm going to just talk it out whenever you're ready to.
Okay,
all right,
looks like we're going to call
after
it here in a
this
second.
turn, you mean?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So this is in on 2 still, because under grade. He gets... Oh, he doesn't get the exploding because he's out of range of the Master Possession at the moment.
Okay.
And then he's wounding on... What's his toughness, this guy?
Typhus T5.
3s. 2 extra attacks.
Okay.
He's hit. Wound. So that's 6 at -2 damage.
Okay, so 4 ups. And then 2 damage each. So I've got Disgustingly Resilient.
Yeah.
Oh, he's dead.
Typhus just dies.
Go did his
Yikes.
job. Cool.
That's what he gets
Oh, gross.
for whiffing.
Gross.
Ah.
All right, man. So
yeah, that went poorly.
yeah, I guess I'll get a hold and a
Um,
bonus.
yeah, you killed it.
And you got a kill.
Did I?
He killed the cultist.
Oh yeah, the cultist. That's right.
Oh, what a mess.
And then I missed the last big game. Missed the headhunters. And no recon.
No, the Disco would have counted towards big game.
Yes, he is a vehicle. So cool. One more big game, and then
We probably see
I'm
another
cool to
hold
concede
or
here,
2
so-
for Doots, but I think
So
that only
we're
leaves him
talking it
on
out.
17 or 18.
So this
Yeah,
guy's
so you'll
probably
just-
30 or
Yeah,
34.
you'll fight back here.
And I've definitely got the rest of my engineers now, I think.
Yeah, you'll get it next 3
I
turns.
thought you were sending him into them, but like I could see, obviously you went for a play here. I still would have to kill him, but obviously I've got all
Yeah,
of
if you
this
don't.
sent
Yeah,
into
if you
it.
don't swat him down, you can just shoot him.
I'll fight back here just to see what happens.
Sure.
So this would be 4 attacks from the Master of Possession.
Okay.
He's re-rolling ones because he does get that for Infernal Power. Went
Mhm.
off. And then this would be Strength 7, so 3s. All 3 go through, so that's -1 D3 damage.
Yeah,
Okay,
those are
so
fine.
that is fine. And then just the 2 attacks from the harp. I don't know if this would do anything. Yes, believe he hits some 2s, but it's only strength. Strength of the harp, is it 4? Strength of the harp, I think it's 4.
Yeah,
Just
strength
checking.
4. Strength 4 -1, 2 wounds.
Okay, do you want to roll for it?
Yeah,
I'm gonna die, but like,
would have been all right.
yeah, obviously I'd probably pull these guys out of combat and then send something massive into them.
Yeah, Demon Prince could have handled him or something.
Yeah, I mean next turn, like Abaddon's probably gonna get charged.
He might even
I
just
would
die to
be
shoot.
able to. I could just shoot him, so
Yeah.
I just shoot everything into him.
Yeah, the Sorks are squishy, nice and squishy, so they probably go down. I'm assuming you would just come around like this way.
Yeah,
just
there's
start-
no point in me. It's too far going around this way. I mean, I can send my characters in through this and start sending this guy up here, so I can like flank both sides anyway.
Yeah.
But obviously, like I'd be shooting.
So unfortunately,
these off
another
each
list
turn,
there. I
so
think
I'd
a little
pretty constantly get
unprepared for
hold of
the
them anyway.
Lord of Skulls skew. Too many toughness 8 wounds on
Yeah.
this guy.
Good game, man. You played it like really well.
Yeah, it's because like
just 3
it's
sorcerers
because I
is
was
basically
aware of the
all
way
that
these guys were doing
Kryogen had to
damage,
knock
but I knew that
vehicles
was
down,
really
and
your only damage, so I had to kind of tank with one of the guys on this side.
they
Yeah. No, you played it perfectly.
didn't quite have the
I was
chops to do it.
sneakily trying to get you to like send one of these characters out so I could snipe him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I took headhunters too. But
Yeah, I was like,
they're so
obviously,
easy to hide on these things.
yeah, because I used these as line of sight blockers, and
Exactly.
it's also if I'd have killed, no, if I had have killed those, I forgot about these, so I was going to try and shoot you, but like, yeah, I couldn't do that. You could have sent one
Yeah,
guy
damn
up here
Bailey.
to
Lord of
shoot
Skulls are
them,
like
but it's
Necrons. They
just
just you have to wipe out the whole
much
unit.
didn't
Yeah.
play. It's better for me to tank.
The
You know,
downside
three
is
more
that they're
cultists here, and
they're
this
28
guy would have
wounds.
taken the wounds. I didn't care about
And
losing this guy
regenerate.
that round.
With an invulnerable save. A little bit tougher than most of the Necron
Yeah,
stuff that you see.
I
Yeah.
knew,
Not quite
I
a
don't know
toughness
if you
6
knew
4+
when I
save
charged this guy in, he was
Doomsday
just
arc
gonna clear
on
the
that guy.
goals completely.
I didn't think he was going to clear them all. I thought I would have like 5 or 10 left, which is all I really needed.
Yeah. No, I knew he'd go to town on him because of like Crimson Crown. That's why I deliberately left him bracketed. So I guess the tiny mistake that you made there is when you smited down to that, or you got him. I think it was the cultists that themselves that actually shot him down to 11 wounds left.
Yeah.
Rather than heal him back up to full bracket, I knew I'd leave him on that bracket to get 21 attacks rather than 15.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna take a big hit there. I needed,
Okay, ladies
as
and
you can see,
gentlemen,
it's
I do
turn-
have to pop
turn
off
4, you're gonna have
for a
3
bit, but I
arsenals, so I'm
will
trying to get,
be back online in probably about 10 or 15 minutes. We're playing the other Pod 12 semifinals game against Innes Wilson. Myself, I'm going to be playing that one, so no commentary that time, actual just gameplay. But that'll be a fun game. I'm excited to play Innes, and he's got another Chaos list. We got 3 Chaos in the semifinals of Pod 12 versus Tyranids. So I think I'm playing triple Exocrines this time is the list. No Maleceptor today. But I'm going to drop the link to that right in the chat. Here we go.
I think if I would have had...
There's the link to the next game stream. So everyone can go congregate over there. We'll go ahead and end this stream in a bit, and I'll get that game set up with Innes, and we will get going. I also should have a game streamed from Pod 17. I'm playing in that. I'm playing Deathwatch, or mixed Astartes with a bunch of Deathwatch, and I'll be playing that tomorrow on AOWPI. So you can go check that out at twitch.tv/AOWPI. Obviously, the link pops up in the notes up in the top right corner every once in a while, so you can go take a look.
I don't know what I was thinking, but I guess I was thinking.
And that'll be it for this game. We'll listen to the players for a little bit, and then I will go ahead and end the stream, and you guys can hop over to that link.
Characters out in the open. But they would have been screaming plague bears anyway.
I was banking on you trying to wrap these and instead of trying to kill them. And I didn't think that I thought if I deny prescience, it's not a high chance that you're going to kill both units, which is why at the start of the turn I moved them both behind there. So no, good game. I do like playing against Chaos because it's interesting list, man. I like the inclusion of Abaddon, even though he didn't do anything. I don't know how you wanted to math this out for the rest of it.
We can just call it a concede for me, so you can go ahead and get your max points over here.
Is that right? Can I ask Trevi if that's okay?
Yeah, whoever Trevi wants to
yeah, that's fine. If you guys can talk it out, or you can it could just be a concession either way.
Because he wanted to do a concession, so
Yeah,
like
fine.
I was just gonna fix it out. Is that including the headhunter and engineer's points?
So you'll definitely max headhunter.
Yeah, so basically his entire army dies as soon as he concedes. So you get all of the kills, and then you get kill and kill more every turn. And hold more is based on what you can do, or hold and bonus is based on what you can do. So you might not. I guess you could run the disco probably to get the bonus for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean the disco, the the bonus here would be moving the disco round to here.
Yeah.
I think he's got the movement. Oh no,
or
he
the
goes
Demon
down
Prince
in
can
movement.
run over the wall, right?
Demon
So,
Prince would just go
there you go.
straight over the top. So
Boosh.
Yeah, so like next turn you can delete the characters, and then I've got like at least one unit. If you just move your Lords of Skulls wide, you'll get one turn, or you'll get
these guys would go this way because they've got their maximum movement anyway. So
yeah, for sure. And you'll get around to this side, just kill one thing a turn.
Oh, it's just sticking out here as well. So,
yeah,
that's fair. Oh, good game, man. Like it's I know it's a bit difficult. Like I don't think you were more geared towards infantry or something. I'm guessing, but
yeah. I mean, typically this list does pretty well against like big heavies too. But just the stacking buffs on the Lords of Skulls, you're getting like extreme value. Even like the -1 to hit almost didn't even matter.
Yeah, it's because of the 2 up anyway. So you still hit on 3s, rerolling everything, and it's Demon Forge, you're rerolling the 1s and 2s too. So it doesn't really matter that much.
Forge, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, guys. Man. I'm gonna pop out of the chat, but good game, guys. Thanks for playing.
See you later.
Yeah, thanks for streaming.
All right, everybody. That's going to be it for this stream. Jump on over to the link that I put into the chat, and you can find the next stream. I'm going to give the system a little bit of reboot. Hopefully that that fixes some of this chop that I was getting. And then we'll set up my game against Innis, and we'll get that going in 10 or 15 minutes. So see you all again in a bit.